Hello and welcome to the Breslin Center, one of the most storied arenas in the nation, and boy do we have a treat for all of you wonderful listeners tuning in this afternoon. It's Michigan and Michigan State, an in-state rivalry amongst the best you can find anywhere in this great nation. It's been a tumultuous young season for Michigan, suffering a home loss to Central Michigan just a few weeks ago. But after that, a big bounce back to eviscerate Maryland at home, holding them to 13 points in the first half and knocking off a good Penn State team. Now, they're traveling to East Lansing to do battle against the Spartan team that has shades of former great Tom Izzo coach teams. Led by a dynamic upperclassmen backcourt of Tyson Walker and A.J. Hogard, this Michigan State team looks to continue their dominance of the maize and blue in East Lansing. Michigan has just 3 wins since 1998 in the hostile confines of the Brez. For Michigan, it's an opportunity to move to 4-0 in conference play and secure a signature win early in Big Ten play and really put this season back on the right track. My name's Kellen Flynn. Alongside me, Alex Miller for this first half. Alex, a pleasure to be with you here in East Lansing. Really excited for this broadcast we've got coming up here.
Absolutely. Just looking forward to this one to get started here in East Lansing.
William Gregory will be hopping on for the second half. Great crew for WCBN Sports. Thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports live coverage of Michigan men's basketball. Michigan's starting lineup was just introduced, and now it's the Spartans getting announced. Michigan with their usual starting 5 with the loss of Jalen Llewellyn. It's Doug McDaniel, Kobe Buffkin, Jet Howard, Terrence Williams, and Hunter Dickinson. And for Michigan State, their starters getting announced right now. It's Tyson Walker, A.J. Hogard, Malik Hall, Joey Hauser, and Manny Sissoko for Tom Izzo's squad. And Alex, looking at these two starting lineups, is there anything before we get tipped off here that you're really looking forward to? Any particular matchups that you're really excited about?
Well, I think a lot of this game is going to come down to play at the 5 spot with the matchup of Hunter Dickinson and Matty Sissoko. Sissoko's length can contain Dickinson. It would absolutely help this squad, but help Michigan State's squad, But I think Dickinson's size can dominate him there. He might have success there. But if Sissoko gets into foul trouble, look for Dickinson really to target Michigan State's other bigs, be it Joey Hauser or Jackson Coleman.
In previous meetings under the Juwan Howard era, we've seen Hunter Dickinson have a lot of success against Michigan State, but that doesn't always translate to wins. Juwan Howard 3-3 against the Spartans all time in his young career at Michigan, on the sidelines, that is. For Michigan, it seems like somebody other than Hunter Dickinson has to step up. Maybe that's Jet Howard. Not entirely sure who that will be today, but if Michigan's going to get this job done on the road, you know Hunter Dickinson's going to get his. Who's going to be the one to step up on the perimeter for the Wolverines?
Well, I think I'm particularly looking, at the starting backcourt, right? I think Doug McDaniel or Kobe Buffkin really has to have a good game. Jet Howard is usually can be counted on for some scoring, but if McDaniel and Buffkin can pick up the slack, they move the ball a little bit around the perimeter, that would really help Dickinson. Look for Buffkin. I look for Buffkin particularly as a scorer. I think he's really looked really strong in the last 6 or 7 games, and I look for that to continue here against MSU.
Kobe Buffkin got a lot of hype this offseason. Up and down start to the year, but he's really started to put together some more consistent performances. And with the loss of Jalen Llewellyn, he's been forced to be more of a secondary playmaker as well. Doug McDaniel, the freshman point guard, stepping into that starting role. Kobe Buffkin's had to play a little bit of the 1 position as well, with Michigan only having 1 true point guard now in Doug McDaniel.
Well, I think it's been a very interesting process moving from Llewellyn to McDaniel. And over the last 2 games in particular, it's been I thought Michigan's ball movement had looked a little bit better with McDaniel and Buffkin out there. I felt like throughout the beginning of the year it was very much ISO ball, but I think McDaniel and Buffkin have really caused the ball to pop a little bit more around the perimeter.
And with that, we are moments away from tip-off here. Both squads on the floor. The I-Zone is active. They are on their feet. The Breslin Center, one of the best environments in the nation. Big Ten Hoops has a number of these awesome sites, and at WCBN Sports, we're happy to be able to travel here and try to capture some of that environment and send it to you listeners at home. Mel Tucker just got on the video board there, continuing to chop. He didn't have a lot of success against Michigan this season. Let's see if Tom Izzo can get the Spartans on the right track against the Wolverines. Juwan Howard and company trying to continue the football team's great success against Michigan State from earlier this year. And a little bit of a delay here. I'm not entirely sure what's going on. Looks like we're having some issues with the TV setup. Both squads back out on the floor. Refs giving the green light to each other. And we're ready to go. It's Dickinson and Sissoko on the Spartan head at midcourt. Tip is up, and Maddie Sissoko knocks it back to A.J. Hogard, and we are underway from the Brez. It's Buffkin on Hogard at the top of the key. Walker guarded by McDaniel. Gets a screen from Sissoko. Dickinson has to get back on defense, and an excellent block. Kobe Buffkin got Sissoko from behind, and Michigan with an excellent defensive stop early.
Buffkin with a really nice play there. I'm very concerned about Hunter Dickinson in the pick and roll defense today, and we'll look to see how that develops, but there, nice job by Buffkin helping him out.
Inside to Dickinson, his first touch in the post. He's gonna work on Sissoko. Hook shot's up and good. Hunter Dickinson putting his hands up and down, trying to get that crowd quieted. Spartans go quick. Joey Hauser three won't go. Rebound to Terrence Williams. Michigan's looked sharp early through about 3 possessions. McDaniel gets a double screen. Working, he'll shoot a pull-up J, no good. Air balls in, the Spartan crowd letting him hear it. Hogard, guarded by Buffkin, out to Hauser. Hauser, interesting pass, corralled by Tyson Walker. Walker into the lane, and it's stolen by Buffkin, or excuse me, Doug McDaniel that is, got his hands up in the passing lanes and ripped it away from Tyson Walker.
Really nice play by McDaniel getting into the passing lane. He's now got a screen from Dickinson. I look for them for Michigan to try to get Dickinson involved early.
Top of the key three, Terrence Williams won't go. Rebound to Sissoko. A.J. Hogard pushing it for Michigan State. They've looked to go quick here, and they get the switch with Dickinson on Hogard. He'll drop back. Hogard, open shot, won't go. Spartans can't get anything to drop early. 18-20 to go. Still 2-0 Michigan. Howard to the corner, into Dickinson. On the block, guarded by Sissoko. He'll just shoot over him, and it rims out. Hauser with the board. Spartans continuing to push. Tyson Walker a pull-up three. It's good. And Michigan State on top as this place erupts. Tyson Walker just pulled up in transition. Michigan State's been really looking to push quickly, and they have some success there.
Yes, they did, and they also, when they have set up the half court, each and every time have gone at Hunter Dickinson, and he is, A.J. Hogard just missed a jumper, but it was a good look.
Dickinson offensive rebound off the Jet Howard miss. And it's a jump ball. It'll stay with Michigan. Michigan will inbound from the baseline. 17:38 to go. 3-2. Sparty up 1 over Michigan off a Tyson Walker made 3. Dickinson, the lone basket for Michigan. It's McDaniel to inbound from the baseline. They got to get it in, and they'll just float it up to Buffkin near midcourt. Buffkin barking out some signals. He's guarded by Akins, the first man off the bench for Michigan State. Inside to Dickinson. He's guarded by Hauser. They're going to bring 2. Kick out to McDaniel. McDaniel into the lane. Tough shot. Can't get it to go. Rebound tipped out to A.J. Hogard. He'll look to move in transition. And Michigan gets back. We'll slow it down. Walker, another 3. It's deep, and it's short. Goes over the backboard, and Michigan takes possession. 7:11 to go. 3-2 Michigan State leads. Alex, not a lot of offense through about 3 minutes of play.
No, I think Michigan and Michigan State both have done a very nice job on the defensive end for the most part. Doug McDaniel getting airball cries, but I think I look for Michigan to try to move the ball around the perimeter a little bit more and try to get Hunter Dickinson some post touches, but Michigan State doing a really nice job getting some help side on Dickinson. So look, we really, as we talked about in the pregame, we really need guys like Buffkin, Howard, and McDaniel to step up.
And Doug McDaniel getting harassed by Tyson Walker, freshman on senior. That's a matchup to look at. McDaniel getting hassled early by this crowd. He's got a turnover and an air ball. Also a steal for Michigan. Bufkin defending Hogard at the top of the key. Trying to get some action off the ball. And McDaniel hits the deck. Walker looks to shoot a three. Michigan transitions nicely inside. Sissoko tried to slam it down on Dickinson with two hands. And Michigan wants a shot clock violation. Officials will meet up. They'll call a foul on Dickinson. But they're going to take it under the hood. They'll take a look at the monitor to see if the shot clock had expired before the foul was called.
Well, regardless.
Sissoko rose up with two hands and just looked to put Dickinson on a poster. Shot didn't fall, but Dickinson had some contact.
Regardless of how this call goes, that possession was a bit of an illustration of how Michigan and Michigan State differ offensively. Michigan State's guards with a couple nice passes and an extra pass to Sissoko, who was obviously the incident with Dickinson. Michigan State's ball movement really impresses me, and I'm curious to see if Michigan's perimeter defenders can rotate with the passes.
And from the replays, I think it's going to be ruled a shot clock violation. There was less than a second when that extra pass was made from Hall to Sissoko, and Izzo's fired up.
Is a shot clock violation on the Spartans, and it's Michigan basketball.
And that looks to be the right call by this officiating crew. Hard to argue with the raw footage. Before any contact was made, the buzzer had sounded. Our officiating crew tonight, it's Paul Slezik, Larry Scaroto, and Courtney Green. And a double tech has been issued now.
First team foul, and for Michigan State, number 2, Tyson Walker. His first team
And it's
foul,
on Doug McDaniel and Tyson Walker. And Michigan's got to be careful here. Doug McDaniel, the only true point guard on this team, not a lot of depth at that position. He's got to keep his head cool. Tyson Walker, a key contributor for Michigan State as well, something to keep an eye on, that battle between those two. Howard, defended by Hogard, top of the key. He'll pull up a three and hits it. Jet Howard silences the crowd with a tough pull-up J.
Excellent hit by Jet Howard, but again, I really hope Michigan can start moving the ball rather than relying on ISO threes at the top of the key, but really nice move by Howard regardless.
Howard called for the foul. Malik Hall looking to get into the lane there. He got bumped. That's the second foul for Michigan. Hogard will inbound from the baseline. 6:19 to play in this first half. 5-3, Michigan leads. Bufkin doing a nice job on the ball to crowd Hogard, and it'll be Malik Hall looking to post up Jet Howard. Hall in the post. Can't get it to go. Offensive rebound cannot be corralled by Malik Hall, and it's Doug McDaniel scampering the other way.
Really nice job by Michigan defensively off that rebound. Michigan State really likes to run that around the screen for Jaden Akins, and a really nice job by Michigan to contain it.
Howard off the dribble, pulls up another three, can't hit. Michigan State pushes with Akins to Hogard. They're going to get Dickinson in the pick and roll again. Sissoko inside, and he walked.
Sissoko did walk there, but Dickinson was really beat. He went to hedge that screen and roll and did not get back in time, and there was no guard available to tag the roller, and would have been an easy layup for Sissoko.
And Jet Howard came in and jumped in the air. Sissoko pump faked and just shuffled his feet a little bit. So we've seen early, Alex, Michigan State trying to put Hunter Dickinson in these pick and roll situations, and they haven't necessarily been able to punish Michigan yet with it. But at the same time, they've had success, just haven't quite been able to materialize that into points.
I think you're spot on. I don't think Michigan State's going to change that plan. Dickinson's been out of position a couple times. Kobe Bufkin saved him with a great block on the while tagging the roller. Hogard missed a jumper off a screen. I really think Walker and Hogard in particular are really going to punish Dickinson in the pick and roll. We'll see how Michigan's coverage changes if Terrace Reed checks in the game, but having Dickinson hedge is a bit different. Sometimes he's in a drop coverage, but we'll see how that develops as this game goes on.
And that, you talk about Terrace Reed and how his presence kind of changes that. Reed's been, as the season's gone on, turned into a very solid and serviceable defender for this Michigan team. A difference from Dickinson, who can be exposed in pick and roll sometimes, like we've seen a little bit today, and when he's forced to move around the floor. So Obviously, Reed does not provide nearly the offensive spark that Dickinson does, but something that Michigan's going to definitely look to play with, and something that, of course, Michigan State will adjust their game plan to as well.
Yeah, Terrace Reed's defense has impressed me all year. He's just really quick on his feet, actually has some really good hands. And if he comes in, Michigan sometimes resorts to a coverage where they switch every screen with Reed in and let him go one-on-one with guards, versus with Dickinson they try to design a hedge or a drop coverage. But again, on the other end, you've got Hunter Dickinson's ability to punish Sissoko and the other bigs on Michigan State's roster. Reed is not really nearly as strong of an option in the post.
Well, it's 15:50 to go in the first quarter. Michigan up 5-3. Again, not a lot of offense early. It's a made three from Jet Howard and a post hook from Dickinson that gives Michigan the lead over the pull-up three from Tyson Walker. And for the Wolverines, it's been very back and forth defensively.
Let's make some noise!
And we're still in the first media timeout here at the Breslin Center. Alex, through these first about 4 minutes of play, is there anything that you're looking to see Michigan really do differently on the offensive end of the floor particularly? We've talked about Dickinson and his role on the defensive side. What about on the offensive side for Michigan?
Well, I think Michigan's issue is sometimes when their first couple options through passes don't work, result in either a Jet Howard isolation or a Hunter Dickinson post-up. And I mean, Michigan State in particular does a really nice job of using the shot clock, moving the ball, looking for a better look. And Michigan tends to, after like the first 10 seconds, just resort to an ISO. I'd look for them to try to move the ball. I think against Penn State they had a lot of success, and that was an important part to that win.
And we've seen Michigan at times get trapped in that ISO ball situation where it's a post up to Dickinson, Jet Howard with a pull-up shot, or nothing else. And that's a dangerous trap that Michigan State would love for Michigan to fall into today. And not that it can't always be successful, but it's just not the most efficient brand of basketball.
Right. I mean, Jet Howard can get into his zone. Dickinson, we've certainly seen him over his career dominate bigs for consistent periods of time. It's just if either of them starts struggling, gets into foul trouble, you're stuck moving to a completely different offense. And again, Kobe Buffkin, Doug McDaniel, they've shown this year that they are capable of stepping up and getting their own shots, working within the offense. And those two in particular, I think are going to play an important role in this outcome of this game.
Absolutely, Alex. And you've talked about Hunter Dickinson and his ability to dominate offensively. That's why I feel like that review of that foul call early is so key for obviously that first possession there, but also it keeps Hunter Dickinson with one less foul. He's still foulless about a quarter of the way into this game.
Right, and that goes for the other end as well. I mean, if they do continue to get the ball to Hunter and he gets Sissoko into foul trouble, Michigan State will likely resort in either moving Joey Hauser to the 5 or bringing in the freshman Jackson Kohler. And Kohler has really struggled defensively in the post this year, so either of those would be very good matchups for Michigan and Hunter Dickinson.
And we've seen Dickinson, the one time he was matched up with Joey Hauser, Michigan State brought a hard double, forcing Dickinson to pass the ball out. They clearly believe that Sissoko can hang one-on-one with Dickinson with maybe some soft doubles, but anyone else, I'm not sure they're confident one-on-one in the post with Hunter Dickinson.
Right, and with that double, Hunter Dickinson's passing, I think, has been much improved this year, either to swinging it to the weak side corner or just making the easy pass to the open man. And I think he'll be able to continue to do that today if the double occurs.
Jet Howard gets it ripped as he goes into the lane. Malik Hall in transition. Howard's back there to poke it away, and it's off the Spartans, Michigan.
Really nice play there by Jet Howard on defense, getting back and getting his hand in the passing lane.
Nice transition defense from Michigan. And they continue to have a nice defensive game plan and execution early. Both sides of the ball playing stout defense. It's McDaniel, top of the key to Dickinson. Sissoko defending. Dickinson has it, finds Buffkin. Gives him a screen, and Hogard fights right through it. Michigan stagnant offensively. Buffkin gets another screen from Dickinson. Good defense from Hogard. Tough shot from Kobe Buffkin, won't go. Excellent defensive possession from Michigan State, and A.J. Hogard has it.
Stagnant was exactly the word I was going to use for Michigan's offense there. After the first couple sets didn't work, it was a resorted to Terrence Williams holding the ball for a few seconds, Buffkin holding the ball for a few seconds, and it resulted in a really tough look.
And Jet Howard now defending Malik Hall at the top of the key, directing traffic. Buffkin defending off the ball as well as McDaniel. They're working hard. Aikens, tough pull-up shot, well defended by Doug McDaniel, and he grabs the defensive rebound. Michigan fighting right back with another electric defensive possession. Bufkin inside to Dickinson. They got him to him on the post again. They bring a double. Dickinson finds Jet Howard on the wing. Howard a three, won't go. And those are the kind of shots Michigan's got to hit to punish the doubles from Michigan State.
Yep. Great read by Dickinson, and Jet Howard will look for him to hit that shot.
Inside to Sissoko. Nice help from Terrence Williams. Sparty wants a foul as Dickinson recovered. Won't get one from this officiating crew, and it's Doug McDaniel taking it for Michigan.
Nice job by Terrence Williams to tag the roller on that defensive possession for Michigan.
Williams steps it back, mid-range shot, and he hits it. Michigan with now 7. That's 7-3. Michigan up 4 early. It's about 7 minutes into this game. A.J. Hogard defended by Bufkin. Fights through a screen. Still one-on-one. Michigan State looking to get movement off the ball as Bufkin's forced to the floor. It's a corner three from Hauser, and he's way long. Can't hit the rim. McDaniel takes it the other direction. He's been working on the boards early for Michigan. Dickinson inside, spin move, hook shot, short. Sissoko rebounds it. Michigan State 0 of their last 5 as Hogard gets into the lane and flips it up and in for an easy 2.
Great move by A.J. Hogard.
Michigan up 2.
Great move by A.J. Hogard. Hogard's a really good passer, and he showed right there he can get his own as well.
Terrence Williams has it at the top of the key. Dickinson defended by Sissoko into the corner. McDaniel, he'll pump fake, defended by Malik Hall. Dickinson rips a 3 at the top of the key, and it won't go. And that ball is recovered by A.J. Hogard. Finds Malik Hall. Hall driving to the basket on the baseline, defended by Howard. And they'll kick it back out to Hogard, who stands at the Spartan helmet at midcourt. McDaniel fights through a screen from Hauser. Fights through another screen. Dickinson hedges nicely, but the lob up to Sissoko. A.J. Hogard floats it up high, and Matty Sissoko punches it with 2 hands. And there's a timeout from Michigan. And Alex, not to toot my own horn, but I do believe during our DSR on Thursday, we talked about Michigan State putting Hunter Dickinson in these pick and rolls, and I said at some point in this game it feels like there's going to be a moment where Dickinson gets caught in the middle and Hogard or Walker floats one up to Sissoko, and he flushes it, and it gets this crowd on their feet, and that could be a turning point in the game.
And that's exactly what happened here. If I'm Michigan, I'm very concerned about Hunter Dickinson in the pick and roll right now. Michigan State hasn't punished them a lot, but in general, Dickinson has been fairly exposed out in the pick and roll.
7-7, 12-18 to go in the first half, and it was just that. Hunter Dickinson getting exposed in the pick and roll. Hogard and Walker, both very experienced guards. They know how to take advantage of that.
Absolutely. Hogard, I think, more will look to pass and throw that lob as he just did to Sissoko. Walker really loves the pull-up jumper, and both can really punish Michigan today if they don't figure out a way to stop the pick and roll on defense.
And both teams, it's been kind of a slow go offensively. Michigan State making their last 2. They got Hogard out in transition. And then on the other side, it was the pick and roll, Hogard finding Sissoko. Michigan's offense, very stagnant. Both teams shooting it poorly, though, in general. 3 of 13 from the field for Michigan, 1 of 5 from deep for Michigan State, 27% from the field, 25% from deep. Both teams haven't attempted a free throw yet either.
It's absolutely been a defensive battle so far, and Michigan's defense has looked great other than Dickinson in the pick and roll, and it looks like Terrace Reed's going to check in, so I'm curious to see if Michigan's coverage switches into a switch coverage with Terrace Reed into the game, and to see if that can slow down the Michigan State pick and roll.
And we're still at our second media timeout. Another interesting note, Michigan State with 5 turnovers with 12-18 to go in the first half. Through about 8 minutes of play, Michigan State 5 turnovers. That seems quite uncharacteristic for a Tom Izzo coach team. Michigan with 3. They're amongst the best in the country at not turning the ball over.
It is uncharacteristic of a Tom Izzo team, and this team in particular. Hogard and Walker, both veteran guards, take care of the ball very well. But Michigan's perimeter players have done a nice job and helped defense Kobe Buffkin's defense this year has been very impressive. I think he's been Michigan's most impressive defender, particularly on the perimeter. And Jed Howard did a nice job getting to the passing lane. And if Michigan's perimeter defenders can help contain these guards, it would really take a load off Hunter Dickinson on the defensive side.
And we've seen Michigan's guards really fight defensively to stay with that dynamic backcourt of Tyson Walker and A.J. Hogarth. They're the engine that makes this Spartan team go. But Michigan State and Tom Izzo, if he can find anything on film that he can take advantage of, he is, and he certainly found something with Hunter Dickinson in the pick and roll, and he has the guards to take advantage of it in a big way. And we're seeing that early with Matty Sissoko getting put in these pick and roll situations.
I don't think that should really surprise anyone. Dickinson's defense and how he's a liability in the pick and roll, I feel like, is pretty well known within the Big Ten. And Michigan State has the guard play, as you said. I think Michigan tried to surprise him a little bit by having Dickinson hedge a little bit more often than he tends to normally. But Michigan State was still able to get him a few times to start this game. And again, Terrace Reed is a much more mobile defender, and I think Michigan might try to utilize him here to slow the pick and roll down.
And we've seen not a lot of substitutions for either team. Michigan has stuck with their starting five throughout the whole first 8 minutes or so far. For Sparty, we've seen some minutes from Jaden Akins, the sophomore from Farmington, Michigan. Other than that, not a lot of bench depth shown so far from either of these teams. We've talked about Jackson Kohler. Pierre Brooks is another player from Michigan State, former Mr. Basketball in the state of Michigan that I'd expect to get some tread. But for Michigan, you'd expect to see Joey Baker come into the game at some point. And just like that, Baker checks into the game. Terrace Reed as well. Jackson Kohler coming in from Michigan State. Jace Howard in for Michigan as well. So it's Buffkin, Baker, Williams, Howard, Jace Howard that is, and Terrace Reed for the Wolverines. They're the five on the floor. Not a lot of offense. We'll see how Michigan can make do on the offensive side. It's Jace Howard inside. Tough shot, won't go. Well defended. Michigan State will push it the other direction. Hauser up to the top of the key. That's Trey Holloman with it. Over to Walker. It's Walker, Pierre Brooks, Kohler, Holloman, and Hauser for Michigan State. Walker got Reed on him, got it with a nice fake. Tough shot in the lane. And the layup goes. Michigan State back on top, 9-7. Tyson Walker taking over to run the show for Michigan State, and he's got a deuce. Buffkin into the lane, and he's fouled. Got kind of out of control there and was bumped. Whistle blows, and Michigan will inbound from the baseline.
We were just singing Terrace Reed's praises during the break, and Tyson Walker did a really nice job getting him on the pick and roll for a very nice finish of his own.
And there's no substitute for experience. Reed just bit on that up fake from Walker. And Walker blew right by him. Buffkin running the one for Michigan. Gets a screen from Terrace Reed. And another whistle blows. Looks like an off-the-ball foul on Trey Holloman. Second now on Trey Holloman. Third team foul for Michigan State. 11:08 to go. Akins checks in for Holloman. 2 quick fouls for Trey Holloman, and he'll take a seat on the bench. Buffkin will inbound it from the baseline. Michigan's had some difficulties here getting the ball inbounded from the baseline. Terrence Williams will post up and fade over the top of Akins. That's a tough shot from the baseline. Michigan State takes it the other direction. Walker gets Buffkin lost in the screen. Akins a three, and he hits it. Near corner three from Jaden Akins, and Michigan State has the largest lead of the game. They're up 5, 12-7. And if you're Michigan, you can't let this game get out of reach. It'll be tough to come back in this hostile environment. Reed has it. He'll look to attack off the dribble inside. Reed going at Kohler. Whistle blows and one. Terrace Reed takes advantage of Jackson Kohler on the defensive side of the ball. Just fights through the contact. The big body of Terrace Reed unfazed by number 0 in white.
Very nice take by Terrace Reed, but again, Michigan really has taken some tough shots these last couple possessions, resulting to a Terrence Reed fadeaway, and a Terrence Williams fadeaway, and now the Terrace Reed Jr. drive. And Reed, I think, right there showed why Jackson Kohler had not checked into the game while Hunter Dickinson was still in, as Reed was able to body right through him as well.
Reed's free throw is good, and this is a Michigan team we've seen struggle at times at the free throw line this season. Michigan making some substitutions. It's McDaniel, Baker, Barnes, Jet Howard, and Terrace Reed. Malik Hall into the game for Michigan State. Walker with it, defended by McDaniel. And he'll take a pull-up jumper. Can't hit anything there. And Michigan will take possession as it's knocked out of bounds by Kohler.
There was the feat we talked about from Terrace Reed, as he did a really nice job closing on Walker and contesting that shot.
And Kohler will be subbed out for Matty Sissoko. Hunter Dickinson still getting a breather on the bench. Jet Howard guarded by Walker. Pass is tipped, he recovers it, but Walker's really getting in him defensively. McDaniel, they switch Walker onto him. Reed at the top of the key gives him a screen. McDaniel looking to attack, well defended by Walker. McDaniel, baseline, and he stepped out of bounds. They'll call an offensive foul. Unclear exactly what that was. Michigan State will take over. It won't be a foul on McDaniel. Hunter Dickinson checks in for Terrace Reed, and Bufkin now back in for Doug McDaniel. 12-10, Michigan down 2. Bufkin defending. Joey Baker gets switched down to Tyson Walker. Isaiah Barnes. And they have it with Pierre Brooks to Walker at the top of the key. Walker defended by Baker. Walker working on Baker with a couple of crossover moves, some fakes. Barnes defending on Akins inside. Shot won't go. Rebounded by Joey Baker. Bufkin will push the other way. Michigan playing some of their best defense of the season. They're continuing to be on a roll from that Maryland game. Dickinson kicks it out. Barnes, a three. Won't go. Matty Sissoko secures the rebound emphatically.
There, Dickinson was doubled, even with Sissoko in the game, and unfortunately Isaiah Barnes couldn't knock the three down.
Nice pass inside. They've got it to Sissoko on the near side block. They double him. Kick out Pierre Brooks three. Won't go. A bit long. Another rebound for Joey Baker. Kobe Bufkin has it. Defended by Akins. They give it right back to him. They're going to give him a screen with Dickinson. And excellent defense from Jaden Akins fighting through the screen. And they'll call a foul on Akins, getting handsy with Kobe Bufkin. First foul on Akins, 5th team foul for Sparty. Hogard checks in for Michigan State. Brooks will take a seat on the bench, and it's back to both starting lineups, except it's Baker instead of McDaniel for Michigan. Jet Howard inside, nice pass to Dickinson, and Dickinson finishes it softly off the glass with the left hand. Michigan ties it back up at 12 apiece. Excellent feed from Jet Howard to the diving Dickinson. Walker off the screen, can't hit it. And it'll stay with Michigan State off of Joey Baker. A tough screen drop, Jet Howard, and Tyson Walker had a wide open shot at the top of the key, couldn't hit it though. And Michigan State will inbound from the baseline. It's Hogard with Barnes on the ball. They find Walker in the corner. Barnes defending Hogard, gets a screen from Sissoko. Dickinson doing an excellent job in the screen game. Sissoko hits the deck, got tripped up with Baker. Akins driving baseline, nice defense from Howard. Hall defended by Baker, shot clock running down, floater, won't go, tip won't go as well, and Joey Baker with another rebound. He has 3 early in the game for Michigan. Howard into the lane, tough shot, won't go, and they'll get him for a travel. Offensive foul called on Jet Howard. So he'll pick up his second foul.
We have a timeout on the floor.
7:42 to go in the first half of play. It has been a defensive slugfest early, 12-12 through just over 12 minutes of play. Alex, in these last few minutes or so, it's just felt like such a tight, close game, very even play on both sides. What's some things you've noticed on either side of play?
Well, on the bright side for both teams, the defense has been really strong. Michigan in particular, I think, has done a very nice job containing almost everything. Michigan State at times likes to work the shot clock down, but they're being forced to take some really tough shots rather than swinging the ball for an open one. Michigan's doing a really nice job containing the perimeter. And on the other end, Michigan has struggled to create their own shots. Michigan State's done a nice job rotating. Hunter Dickinson has had the ball denied, and when they've been doubling even with Mady Sissoko on him. And Dickinson made a pass to Isaiah Barnes, but Barnes was unable to convert. It'll be very interesting to see how both teams move from here. If I were Michigan, I'd look to go continue to develop Dickinson there in the post, try to maybe get Sissoko in foul trouble, try to get some work on the left side of the basket for Dickinson.
And Dickinson, 5 shot attempts, he has 2 baskets. Michigan State, 0 of their last 5, a 3-minute, 9-second scoring drought for the Spartans. They're led in scoring today by Tyson Walker with 5. But other than that, nobody with more than 3 points.
Another player I think Michigan may look to here is Joey Baker, who had a really great game against Penn State, opening up the floor as a shooter, and perhaps he could do the same here if they can get him involved. But really, Michigan State has been in an interesting spot on the other end with Walker and Hogard as the 2 guards trying to get the offense going, and they've just struggled. Michigan's perimeter defenders have done a really nice job. Doug McDaniel's a bit undersized, but done a really nice job containing Walker, and he hasn't really gotten going in the same way he did early in other games this year. Michigan's offense is in a really interesting spot as well. I hope that they continue to move the ball a little bit better and get it going a little bit on the offensive end.
And you've talked about it. Ball movement for both teams has been really difficult. I think that's a credit to both teams' effort on the defensive side of the ball. Both Michigan and Michigan State have done an excellent job of making it difficult to find driving lanes, tough to find open shots. There have not been really any. The Tyson Walker 3 was pretty open, but both teams haven't had a lot of open free looks. And that's a credit to the defensive effort by both squads. It's a rivalry game. It's an in-state matchup, interconference matchup. You know it's going to be a hard-fought game.
Absolutely. I think Michigan State is the better passing team of these 2, and I look for them to continue to move the ball and eventually start developing their looks. I really think Michigan, in this matchup, needs to get Hunter Dickinson going. I'm often a person who calls for getting the ball out of Dickinson's hands a little bit and saying getting play in the guards, but I think in today's matchup, if Michigan can get Dickinson going early, it would really open it up for the other players on the perimeter, just because he's drawing double teams on basically every touch.
And this is a big game for Michigan State because after this, they're already 3-1 in conference, or 2-1 in conference, dropping a game to Northwestern earlier this season. They have a really difficult stretch playing Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Purdue, and Rutgers. They have to play Rutgers and Purdue twice in that stretch, including going to West Lafayette and Piscataway. So this is going to be a tough stretch for Michigan State, including this Michigan game. So this would be a big win for Sparty to pick up. For Michigan, you've had some ups and downs and some really big downs so far this season. This would be a huge win to move up to 4-0 in conference and be atop the Big Ten, and also for your momentum going into the rest of the season into Big Ten play. Hogard has it, and we'll bring it up the floor for Michigan State. Defended by Kobe Buffkin. They bring Walker out. Williams defending Hauser. Hauser swings it back to Hogard. Hauser, top of the key, pull up J, and it's pure. There's a foul called. Looks like the basket. The basket will count. Terrence Williams called for the foul. And it looks like it'll be an off-ball foul. Potentially looking at a hook and hold maybe. It's tough. Let's see if we can get another replay. Juwan Howard discussing with our officials here. As We get another look at it. He was screened by Sissoko, and I'm really not sure what the call is here. It looks like he just got bumped by Sissoko. I'm really not quite sure what the foul is. Alex, do you have any thoughts?
I didn't see much there. Oh, the refs will leave a foul. It looks like Williams got screened by Sissoko and couldn't get around it, but I didn't see much that would elicit a foul call.
And so I guess they're going to get Terrence Williams for a foul when Hauser was moving without the ball. But there was very clearly not continuation there. Hauser didn't even have the ball yet. So basket is not good. Still 12-12. All knotted up. 7:30 to go in the first half. And Michigan State will inbound from the sideline. Hogard attacking inside to Malik Hall on the near baseline. Baker defending as Hall posts up. Fadeaway J for Malik Hall. And he fills it up. Tough shot from Malik Hall. He's a savvy wing for this Spartan squad, a glue guy on this team that they really play a lot better when he's healthy and on the floor. Terrence Williams defended by Hauser to Joey Baker inside to Dickinson. He's got a touch. Defended by Sissoko. Kick out to Baker. Baker, a three. Won't go. Rebounded by Hauser, and Michigan State will continue to move in transition. Hogard inside. Good defense by Buffkin, and they'll be forced to reset it. Hogard at that Spartan logo at center court. Looking to find Hauser. Hauser with it on the near side wing. Sissoko top of the key. Dickinson's just going to leave him. Walker working on Isaiah Barnes. Great defense from Barnes. Hauser, tough shot, kick out to the corner. Tyson Walker, a three. Won't go, he's long again. He's airballed 2 shots now, and that'll be a shot clock violation.
It's Michigan basketball.
Really nice job by Michigan there on the perimeter. Walker ended up getting free towards the end of that shot clock on a nice look by Joey Hauser, but fortunately for Michigan, he airballed way long.
And Isaiah Barnes seeing some extended minutes here for Michigan. Not someone we've seen get a ton of play throughout the season, but he's been working his way more into the rotation. Inside to Dickinson. He'll just shoot over Sissoko. Short. Rebounded by Hauser. Dickinson's been fairly inefficient so far today as Malik Hall works on that same baseline. Tough move. And it's an offensive foul. Going the other way.
I don't love that pull-up jumper by Dickinson on the other end for Michigan. I think he can do a little bit better and work Sissoko onto the block. A mid-range jumper is not the best shot for Dickinson, especially at this point in the game where he's struggled from the field.
Dickinson 2 of 6 from the field today, only 4 points. And we've seen him have a lot of success against Michigan State in years past. Kobe Buffkin with Akins defending. He's on the left wing. Buffkin tries to get it inside to Dickinson, well defended. Baker hoists up another three, won't go. Off back iron. Michigan State continuing to run with Hogard into the lane. Forced to kick it out, it's Hauser. Hauser defended by Williams on the far block. Hauser, tough shot, won't go. Rebound by Barnes, he flips it to Baker, and Michigan with another defensive stop. 5:30 to go in the first half. Kobe Buffkin, top of the key, screen from Dickinson. Buffkin gets Akins on his hip. Corner to Terrence Williams, doesn't like what he sees. They swing it back around the horn to the top of the key, it's Buffkin. Dickinson comes to give him another screen. Buffkin attacking downhill, gets inside and finishes. And Jackson Kohler again put in a tough spot defensively. Buffkin goes right by him, but Michigan State flying down the floor. Hogard defended by Buffkin. Screen from Hauser. Michigan switches. Williams on him. Dickinson defending Hogard. A mismatch for Michigan State. Inside, Dickinson swats it away. Hunter Dickinson says, get that out of here. And Michigan will move it the other way. Baker, a pull-up three, won't go. He's 0 of 3. And they can't punish Michigan State in transition. Malik Hall into the lane. He'll blow right by Michigan. Nobody picked up the ball. And Michigan State back on top, 16-14. That's inexcusable for Michigan.
It is. That's a missed coverage, not picking up Malik Hall with the ball. On Michigan's end, it'd be very nice to see Joey Baker get his shot going. As you mentioned, he's 0 for 3, and Michigan could really use his floor spacing.
Inside, Buffkin can't get it to go. He hits the deck. Michigan State in transition. Hogard finds Hall in the corner. Hall hoists up a three. It's good. Malik Hall, with 4 minutes to go, rains one from outside. And a nice contest from Terrence Williams, doesn't matter. Michigan needs to respond here in a big way. Corner to Barnes. Back to Williams. They're trying to get it to Dickinson with Kohler defending, and it's stolen. A double team from A.J. Hogard. Michigan State will slow it down. Hall hoists up another three. Top of the key, won't go. And you had the feeling that this place was going to erupt if that one fell. Buffkin trying to work. Finds Terrence Williams. He's got Hauser on him. Michigan, they've got the mismatch with Dickinson and Kohler inside, and it's a traveling violation. Terrence Williams. Media timeout. 3:14 to go. Michigan State 19, Michigan 14.
The timeout comes at a good time. Michigan State on a bit of a run there, but again, it's still only a 5-point game here. Michigan very obviously in this game still. I like the idea of getting the ball to Dickinson with Kohler guarding him. A very nice job by Michigan State, basically triple teaming him and trapping him and forcing a turnover.
And as we see here on screen, Hunter Dickinson has been dominant against little brother in his Michigan career, averages 21 points per game versus Michigan State. That's the most versus single opponent that he has more than 2 games against. 8 rebounds and an efficient 55% from the field. And Michigan State has done an excellent job today, holding Dickinson to 4 points on 2 of 6 shooting so far in the contest. Still a lot of ball left, Alex, but Dickinson's someone you expect to get you about 20 points in this game. He's got 4 on an inefficient 2 of 6 so far.
I think Michigan State has done a really nice job trapping him early, being prepared to help even before Dickinson gets the ball. And it'll be very interesting to see if Michigan can get him involved or if they're going to try to look. Kobe Buffkin had a couple of nice takes off the pick and roll with working with Dickinson. I think it'll be very interesting to see what comes here. We, before this game, were counting on Dickinson. Well, okay, we can count on Dickinson. Who else is going to step up? But now Dickinson's struggling, and you're still looking around seeing, okay, who is going to step up for Michigan in this game?
And I think if you're Michigan, you're happy with how this first half has gone in a defensive kind of battle. You're okay with the slower pace, and Michigan State has really tried to speed Michigan up throughout this game and get them moving in transition. But Michigan's done a good job of controlling the pace for most of the contest. But when you're shooting 25% from the field and 11% from 3, it's tough to win a lot of games. Michigan State, 33% from 3, 32% from the field. They're just making more shots than the Wolverines are.
Absolutely, but I think if you told us before this game that Hunter Dickinson would have 4 points at the 3-minute mark and Michigan was only down 5, I think we'd all live with that, and I think we still can. So Michigan, I hope, I keep saying it, I'm going to sound like a broken record, but I do hope they can start moving the ball a little bit more around the perimeter, even against Michigan State's defense.
.314 to go in the first half. A really tight ball game so far. Malik Hall gets hot and puts the Spartans on top with 5 straight points. A.J. Hogard with 3 assists. Hauser with 5 boards lead the way for Michigan State. For Michigan, it's Dickinson with 4 points, Baker with 4 rebounds, and only 1 assist for Doug McDaniel leading the way. Been a back and forth game throughout, a defensive battle. Both teams really working on the defensive side of the ball. Michigan unable to take advantage of Jackson Kohler defensively when he was in the game. Just got to play a cleaner game if you're Michigan. You've had a couple of bad turnovers down the stretch here. Have to find some form of offense, because clearly what you're doing now isn't working.
Right, and credit Michigan State. With Jackson Kohler in the game, they did a really nice job making sure Dickinson wasn't in good post position when he caught the ball. And I think they're content double teaming or even triple teaming Dickinson and forcing guys like Doug McDaniel, Terrence Williams, Kobe Buffkin to really get going, and so far they haven't. And I think that's been a struggle for this Michigan team throughout this season.
And we've seen teams that are able to effectively double Dickinson, like Arizona State. Michigan struggled tremendously. They didn't shoot it well from the outside. And when they were able to keep the ball out of Dickinson's hands, it makes it tough for this Michigan team but it takes personnel too. Arizona State had Warren Washington, a 7'1" center that was built and could defend well inside. Manny Sissoko, not quite 7'1", but has the frame to hang with Dickinson in the paint. Michigan State has the personnel to have that same kind of effect if they want to.
Right, and we've seen Dickinson in the past struggle a little bit when he matches up with centers capable of handling in the post, like you mentioned against Arizona State, in the past against Kofi Coburn at Illinois. And it is hard for this team to win. When Dickinson's struggling and the perimeter shots aren't falling, it's hard because where else is this offense going to come from? Also, it looks like Michigan is entering a 2-3 zone here. Perhaps they're just stunting it. No, I think they're sticking with it on defense here.
It's Buffkin, Barnes, Reed, Williams, and Jace Howard for Michigan as Michigan State finds Brooks in the corner. And another air ball from 3 for Michigan State.
It's Michigan basketball.
And the officiating crew discussing here, and it'll stay with Michigan going down to the other end of the floor. Buffkin seen extensive minutes at point guard so far today. Doug McDaniel has been on the bench for a while now. And that pass into the corner, a little off target as Michigan turns it over. Wild pass from Kobe Buffkin looking for Isaiah Barnes. And just like that, Sparty has it right back. 2:51 to go in the half. Michigan State 19, Michigan 14. A.J. Hogard, he's been a key spark plug for Michigan State. Buffkin's done a nice job defensively, though, keeping him out of the lane as he goes right by him. And Jace Howard comes in to contest. And Hogard draws a foul.
Michigan foul on 25, Jace Howard, his first personal. That's the 6th
first foul
on the Wolverines.
on Jace Howard, and that's 6 now for the Wolverines as a team.
It's a nice take by A.J. Hogard there after getting Buffkin on his hip. Michigan's in a very interesting lineup, very defensive-minded with Isaiah Barnes and Jace Howard and Terrace Reed all in the game at the same time. It's a bit of an unusual lineup for Michigan right now.
A.J. Hogard, first free throw is good. Second is pure as well. And just like that, Michigan State with their biggest lead of the afternoon. It's a 7-point Spartan lead here at the Breslin Center. 2:30 to go in the first half of play. Buffkin at the top of the key, defended by Akins. Buffkin defended nicely. Michigan has not been able to penetrate today. Reed has it, defended by Sissoko. Reed goes right at him, just muscles through him and gets it to go. Terrace Reed with his second bucket. He's got 5 for Michigan. Just muscles right through Manny Sissoko for a pair. About 2 minutes to go here, 21-16. Hogard defended by Buffkin on the near side wing. They get the switch with Reed on him. Hauser a 3. Hauser shot is good. Joey Hauser sprays it home from deep. 8-point lead for Michigan State. And Michigan has to respond here. Buffkin into the lane. Barnes in the corner. Barnes swings it over to Williams. Defended by Hauser to Jace Howard. Jace trying to get it into Terrace Reed. And Terrence Williams throws it to those courtside seats. Jace Howard tried to go backdoor. Terrence Williams just threw it right into the courtside seats. Michigan turns it over. And Michigan State has a chance to go up double digits as we close out the first half of play. Walker defended by Howard. Buffkin on Hogard to Akins, guarded by Barnes. Akins into the lane, foul called. And they'll whistle it on Isaiah Barnes. Michigan State in the bonus.
That's the 7th team foul.
They'll head to the free throw line for a 1-and-1. It's Jaden Akins at the stripe.
Jaden Akins at the line for Michigan State, shooting 1
Akins
and 1.
will be shooting for Michigan State, 75% free throw shooter on the season. First free throw is good.
He gets the bonus. 25, Malik Hall back in the lineup for Michigan State, replacing Madi Sissoko.
Malik Hall checks in for Sissoko. 1:12 to go. 25-16. Michigan State up 9. Minute 12 with Akins on the free throw line pending his second of the 1-and-1. Won't go, and it's rebounded by Michigan. Alex, Michigan has not been able to penetrate the Spartan defense off the dribble or through pick and rolls. Someone's got to find a chink in the armor.
Michigan State's at a very small lineup right now with Malik Hall being down low with Terrace Reed, and they're doing a nice job switching everything against Michigan's offense.
And Jaden Akins gets whistled for a bump on Kobe Buffkin. He can't believe it. Michigan now in the bonus. And Akins with his second foul will head to the bench. Pierre Brooks checks in.
The second back in the lineup for Michigan State, replacing Jaden Akins.
So Buffkin will head to the free throw line for a 1-and-1 of his own. The Izzone not too pleased with that call.
Kobe Buffkin at the line for the Wolverines, shooting
Letting the referees hear it. 55 seconds to play with Buffkin at the charity stripe. Buffkin's first shot is up and good. He'll get a second one. 25-17 pending a second Kobe Buffkin free throw. And Michigan continuing with this unusual lineup of Buffkin, Barnes, Jace Howard, Terrence Williams, and Terrace Reed. Not a lot of offensive threats. Not a lot of outside shooting in that lineup. Second free throw is good from Buffkin. And it's a 7-point lead for Michigan State. Under a minute to go. It's Hogard at the Sparty head to Hauser, to Pierre Brooks. Brings it back to the middle. Walker gets a screen from Hall at the top of the key. He's defended by Jace Howard. Walker barking out orders, finds Hogard. They get the switch with Reed. Hall into the lane, gets it ripped by Terrace Reed in transition. Michigan's gonna push, they don't have numbers. Buffkin, tough shot, won't go. And Michigan State takes over. Under 30 seconds of play, shot clock's turned off. Tough shot in transition for Kobe Buffkin, couldn't get it to fall. And it's a 7-point game. Michigan State in the lead. They can hold for the last shot of the half, and I'd imagine they will. Hogard just standing there, starting to dribble out some clock. Juwan Howard from the sideline barking out orders, and Michigan State calls timeout. 13.6 on the clock. Michigan State looking to hold to get one last bucket.
A 30-second timeout.
And Alex, very, very, very low scoring first half. I mean, we saw Michigan hold Maryland to 13 points in the first half earlier in the week. Michigan with only 18 points in this half, and it looks like they're going to stay at that number. Michigan State with 25. What do both of these teams need to do to up the scoring impact in the second half?
Well, so far it's been a bit of an offensive slugfest, and Michigan almost seemed to accept that and just go with one of their best defensive lineups and take the scoring threats off the court. I think on Michigan's side at least, Hunter Dickinson has to be established, or Doug McDaniel and Jett Howard, if he returns to play, both need to step it up. And really, again, it goes back to ball movement. Michigan State's done a really nice job, but Michigan needs to do a better job moving that defense around, cutting. It's not something that's always a part of this Michigan offense. They tend to sometimes resort to sort of stagnant, to swing the ball sort of pointlessly, and I think they really need to get Michigan State moving off ball.
A.J. Hogard stands at the Spartan helmet at midcourt, gets a screen from Hauser. They get the switch. It's Walker into the lane, guarded by Reed, and it's rejected. And a foul is called as Jace Howard sends Malik Hall into the Michigan bench.
Foul on number 25, Jace Howard. That's his second.
And they're going to go to the monitor for this one. Silly foul for Michigan. Michigan State at a minimum is going to get a 1-and-1 here with a chance for a flagrant foul. That's what they're going to look at. I don't think that it'll get graded to a flagrant. Clearly nothing malicious there from Jace Howard. Just two players going for a loose ball, and Howard pulled up at the last moment and just kind of bumped Malik Hall. but still a silly foul, Alex, as Michigan State's going to get a free 1-and-1 to end the half.
Right, regardless of whether this is a flagrant or not, I don't think it will be. The clock was running down, it was about under a second when Jace Howard makes contact with Malik Hall, and the ball's going to go out of bounds. It seems fairly pointless. The half would have just ended with this score, and now you give Michigan State a chance to go to the free throw line.
And for a team that has played excellent defense and very smart defense throughout this game, that's one that Juwan Howard's going to wish he could get back, and the rest of this coaching staff, and I'm sure Jace Howard as well. Both teams huddled up as our officiating crew takes a peek at this. We have triple zeros on the game clock. And it looks like 1.1 will be added to the game clock. 0.5 seconds on the clock at the half. So that's what they were looking at the monitor, see how much time was left. 1-and-1 for Malik Hall. Jace Howard talking with the officials here, trying to let him know he had no malicious intent. 0.5 on the game clock. Pretty unlikely Michigan will be able to get anything to go. But Michigan State on a miss has the opportunity for a tip-in.
He's shooting 1-and-1.
1-and-1 for Malik Hall. First free throw is up and pure.
He gets the bonus.
Malik Hall, nearly an 85% free throw shooter, one of the best on the team for Michigan State. Second free throw is up and good. 27-18, that's how we'll end the first half from the Breslin Center. Michigan State up 9. It's been a defensive battle in the first half, Alex. Both teams struggling to score the ball. Wasn't pretty shooting from the field. Michigan under 27% from the field, 11% from three. Michigan State 32% from the field, 36% from three. What are your key takeaways from that first half, Alex?
Well, if I'm Michigan, I'm a little concerned with how you've looked offensively. There really haven't been a lot of good open shots that Michigan has missed, besides a few Joey Baker threes. While on the other end, Michigan State has left a few points on the board. They've missed a couple open jumpers. They've been, in general, getting better looks than Michigan has been able to generate on the other end. And if you're Michigan, I think you go into this halftime a little bit puzzled and trying to figure out what you can get to work against this Michigan State defense that has looked very impressive in this first half.
And that could be more right, Alex. I mean, both of these teams, it's a rivalry game. This is what you expect. Maybe not quite to this degree, but it's going to be a tough, hard-fought game. With that, we will leave you for just a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 10 minutes for WCBN Sports coverage of the second half of this contest. We're going to take a quick break, but we'll be back in about 10 minutes for second half coverage live from the Breslin Center. For myself, Kellen Flynn, for my partner, Alex Miller, thank you for tuning into our first half coverage. We'll be back in about 10 minutes.
be back for our Penn State game for a chance to go to the Final Four in Houston, courtesy of Buick. Let's make some more noise for Mike and go Green! Go Green! All right, Spartan fans, you got a taste of it earlier. Well, now it's time for the full meal. Please welcome America's Got Talent finalist and winner of Germany's Got Talent. It is a basketball hall halftime favorite. The award-winning act that you are all here to see. Presented today by Harper's Restaurant and Beauty Pub. Spartan Nation, make some noise for Christian and Scooby!
Right here, right now is all we got. A little party never killed nobody. So we gon' dance until we drop. A little party never killed nobody. Right here, right now is all we got. A little party never killed nobody.
Let's give it up one more time for Christian and Scooby. You can find Christian and Scooby on social media and headlining the Atomic Saloon Show, playing at the Venetian on the Las Vegas Strip.
Spartan fans, Game Day Floor Prep is now brought to you by Lippman, official hardwood floor care provider of Michigan State Athletics. Tom Izzo radio show presented by Auto Owners is every Monday at 7 p.m. at Reno's East. You can listen to the show live across the state of Michigan on the Spartan Media Network.
Welcome back to the Jack Breslin Student Event Center, where the Michigan Wolverines are currently down by 9 points to the Michigan State Spartans, 18-27. It's been a very low-scoring affair today, as Michigan still seeks to win their first game in East Lansing since 2018. Mo Wagner dropped 27 points in that game. I welcome back Kellen Flynn. He'll be joining me, William Gregory, for the second half of this game. That's surely to go down to the wire, as both these teams have played inspired today. Kellen, you covered that first half. What do the Wolverines need to do here in the second to first get even with the Spartans and then possibly take the lead?
Well, first things first, William, they need to make shots, flat out. And this is a Michigan team that has struggled at times this season being consistent shooting from the floor. They're shooting under 27% from the field, and they're 1 of 9 from 3. That just simply is not going to cut it if they want to take home a win today against Michigan State. On the other side, they need to continue what they're doing on the defensive side of the floor. I think if you told Juwan Howard and this team that they'd held Michigan State to under 30 points in that first half, they'd be absolutely thrilled with their performance. And they gave up those 2 easy points at the end there on that Jace Howard foul, but overall I think defensively you're thrilled in that first half. Offensively, you need to find a way to get Hunter Dickinson some touches in the post, and when they bring the doubles, you flat out just need to knock down your shots from the outside.
And Hunter Dickinson did not play for the last 3 minutes and 14 seconds of the first half. He was subbed out for Terrace Reed Jr., who played well in his minutes, scored 5 points, has been perfect shooting, 2 of 2 from the field, 1 of 1 from the line. One of the only Wolverines that are perfect offensively today. As a team, they're shooting 7 for 26, 1 for 9 from 3. The free throw shooting's been a problem all year, but it's not a problem today. They're 3 for 3, so that's not a big deal tonight. We're almost ready to get back underway for the second half. 10 seconds left on the timer here on the big Jumbotron at the Breslin Center. And we're yet to see who Michigan... We're yet to see who Michigan sends out for the second half. but we'll check Michigan State's lineup. Right now, State has Joey Hauser, A.J. Hogard, Tyson Walker, Madi Sissoko, and it looks like Malik Hall, their regular starting lineup. Just want to make sure about that, though. And for Michigan, still huddling up, about to break it. It is Buffkin, Williams, Dickinson, Howard, and McDaniel, their regular starting lineup. So Hunter Dickinson, like I said previously, for the first time since 3 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the first half, will check back into this ball game.
And Dickinson did not have a ton of minutes in that first half. I'd really look for him to see some increased minutes in the second half. He had a lot of rest. He hasn't had a lot of minutes on him tonight. Sat 6 minutes in that first half compared to Buffkin, who only sat for one of them. Terrence Williams only sat for 3, so him and Jet Howard both. Jet Howard sat for half that first half, so I'd expect both of them to get some extended tread in the second half. And those are Michigan's 2 best offensive players, so maybe that had a little something to do with the lack of scoring throughout that first half.
We're about ready to get started. Joey Hauser awaiting reception of the basketball. He's on the center court line on a side out. A.J. Hogard next to him, ready to receive the inbounds pass. Everybody's ready to go, but there's a delay. It probably has to do with the television situation in this game. We've had a number of these delays so far today. Hauser gets it, inbounds to Hogard. Brings it up the floor, hands off to Tyson Walker. Left side, Akins, who will start in place of Malik Hall for this second half. Gets a screen set, Hogard does, by Sissoko. Hogard nearly has it picked away by Kobe Buffkin. A.J. Hogard drives inside, back out to Akins for 3. Excuse me, that was Tyson Walker. It's rebounded, though, by Jaden Akins. Kicks out left wing Hauser. Works its way back to Hogard on the top of the three-point line. His jumper is down and good.
And that's a big-time shot from A.J. Hogard in a game where Michigan State has actually shot it okay from the three-point line. Points have been few and far between for both of these teams. Good rotation and offensive rebound from Jaden Akins to allow the three-point opportunity.
Wolverines settling into a set now. Dickinson sets a screen for Buffkin. Outside Howard. Now to the left corner, McDaniel. Guarded by Hogard. Entry pass, Dickinson in the post. Almost doubled. Dickinson has to send it back out to Howard. Shot clock running down. McDaniel for 3. Airballs it out of bounds. Michigan State basketball.
And that was an awesome defensive possession from Michigan State. Michigan clearly trying to work it into Dickinson out of the first half. You've got that play drawn up and you can't execute. That's a tough break for Michigan offensively.
Hogard will bring it back up for the Spartans once again. Akins at the top, gets a pass. Back to Hogard. Hauser off a screen, mid-range jumper, good. Good play by Joey Hauser to come off that screen, firing on the right side. And Juwan Howard's going to call a timeout.
And this game is dangerous is dangerously close to getting out of hand. Michigan down 14. And they've only scored 18 points in that first half. Now you'd expect that number to go up, obviously, but if you're Michigan, you've got to find some answers on the offensive side of the ball.
And when you're down 14 and this crowd at Breslin Center is this into it, I mean, they've been here all game cheering their hearts out. It's one of the loudest sporting events I've ever been to in my life. I had the luxury of being without a headset on in the first half, and it was like side-splitting volume.
And this is the Izzone. They've been here since 2 hours before tip. They were filled out by the time we got here to set up an hour and a half before tip-off. And they've been eagerly awaiting this contest, and they've shown out in a big way.
And Michigan State, it's not very surprising that Michigan is shooting poorly in this game. It is surprising that they're shooting only 26% from the field. But Michigan State is on a 5-game winning streak right now. They've won their last 4 here in East Lansing. During that time, they've held their opponents to only 57.2 points per game and 36.8% shooting from the field. Their opponents only making a quarter of their threes. Michigan State is second in the Big Ten in scoring defense, only allowing 61.3 points per game. It's a classic Tom Izzo program team. Stifling defense, a good rebounding team, and they like to run in transition. It's a few of Izzo's hallmarks, especially shining through in this game tonight. Still in this media timeout in East Lansing. They've had the lights dimmed for the entirety of the timeout as the cheerleading crew for the Spartans along with Sparty are keeping the Izzone entertained. 18:38 to go. Michigan State up 32-18 over Michigan. The Wolverines have yet to score in this second half. We're just under 90 seconds into it, though. But the offense for the Wolverines hasn't looked great so far.
Yeah, and you're right, William. The offense hasn't looked great. And I don't know really what else to say. They haven't made shots, and Michigan State's done excellent work on the defensive side. There's not really a lot to say other than that. Michigan State has made it very difficult for Michigan to penetrate and create driving lanes. Michigan hasn't been able to get in the paint off dribble penetration other than, I think, 2 times in that entire first half, which is a huge credit to the Spartans and what they've been able to do. And then on the other side, they haven't knocked down their three-point shots. They're 1 of 10 from the three-point line, shooting 10% from the field, so from the three-point line this game. So if you can't make shots from the outside and you can't get dribble penetration, it's really, really difficult to score the ball.
And we were in that game against Arizona State in Brooklyn where the Sun Devils, not only did they shoot lights out, but they also held the Wolverines to a shooting performance like this in the first half that extended, unfortunately, for Michigan into the second half. Michigan got blown out in that second night of the Legends Classic in Brooklyn. The Wolverines hoping that this game doesn't end up like that, but it's certainly trending that way. Luckily for the Wolverines, the Spartans are also shooting poorly, still stuck at around 35% from the field themselves. Ready to get back underway. Terrence Williams for a side out of bounds. He is not guarded closely by Joey Hauser, so he'll have a clean lane to inbound it to Doug McDaniel. McDaniel settles in at the logo, passes off Howard, gets it back McDaniel. Working now on the left wing. McDaniel. Inside Dickinson. Dickinson has an easy layup and he puts it in.
And if Michigan's going to make a comeback in this game, it's going to be off a big second half from Hunter Dickinson. He was not, we didn't say his name often in the first half, and for Michigan to win this game, we're going to need to.
Hauser up top on the left wing. Passes over to Akins. Akins gets a screen from Sissoko. Inside, Sissoko misses the alley-oop dunk. He hit one earlier in the first half that sent this crowd into a frenzy, but that one rims out. Jet Howard, guarded now by Jaden Akins, kind of a mismatch. Gets it off to Bufkin. Now Dickinson inside, doubled by Hauser and Sissoko. To a cutting Williams, drives inside, and he's fouled. He'll go to the line for 2 shots.
And Michigan State has been brilliant on pick and roll situations on the defensive side. Michigan just hasn't been able to create any kind of offense off of pick and rolls. But an excellent cut there from Terrence Williams. In the past, Michigan had been very stagnant when Michigan State brings doubles. That time, Terrence Williams with an excellent off-ball cut. Dickinson hits him, and Michigan generates free throw opportunities.
And Terrence Williams has been an improving shooter overall over the past few games. A few games ago, he was under 25% from 3, almost near 30% from the field. His free throw percentage was also in the dumps, but he's improved that to almost 70% this season. Just knocked in the first free throw, misses that second free throw. Bad announcer jinx on my part, but the Spartans rebound. Michigan pulls back within 11, 32-21, 17:40 to go. Hogarth's got it for the Spartans. Back out Hauser, drives in from the top of the key, now working in the post against Williams. Little turnaround hook shot, no good, off the front rim, but it skates out of bounds and will go to the Wolverines. It's a Michigan basketball, and Michigan will have possession now.
And I don't like that double screen action from Michigan State. It gives Michigan more outs to hide Hunter Dickinson. Keep him isolated in those one-on-one pick and rolls if you're Michigan State.
Doug McDaniel still getting the air ball chance. He had that air ball early in the first half. Dickinson inside off a nice pass from Terrence Williams, and it's an easy flip-in shot from Dickinson.
And Dickinson acting quick there before Michigan State can bring the double.
Hogarth drives inside, fouled by Kobe Bufkin. And Kellen, like you said, Dickinson needs to be quick when he dives inside. He also is getting the basketball too far outside the paint. He's settling for soft face-up jumpers instead of getting inside and physically dominating.
Well, he was in the first half, and in the second half, he's gotten some nice post-ups and done a great job of getting position deep in the post and not settling on the far post.
Hogard off the inbound, top of the three-point line now. Crossover against Buffkin, trying to isolate. Hogard driving inside left. Really high layup goes down for A.J. Hogard, and he tells Kobe Buffkin that he's too small. Michigan's got it. Howard, pull-up three-pointer, no good. Jet, a really good three-point shooter, trying to get that one to fall, couldn't go. Spartans come quick. Akins pulls it out, though. Out to Hogard on the right wing. No-look pass to Walker. Now back to Hogard. Screen by Hauser. Hauser flares back to the three-point line. Comes back from the right wing all the way to the left block. Back out to A.J. Hogard. Shot clock inside 10. Screen set Sissoko. Hogard trying to drive in on Dickinson. Nice entry pass to Sissoko, but the ball goes out of bounds.
And that's more great hands from Kobe Buffkin inside. He got switched on to Sissoko twice this game. The first time, he swatted him from behind. The second time, excellent hands to tip away the entry pass. We've seen Kobe Buffkin really showing off his defensive prowess.
Michigan's got it. McDaniel coming downhill quickly, stopped by Jaden Akins. Now working from left to right, passes to Howard, gets it back at the logo. Back to Howard once again. Now Williams trying to get it into Dickinson on the block. Dickinson, hook shot. Over Hauser, no good. Excuse me, that was over Jackson Kohler.
And Dickinson just looked a little bit rushed there. There's a difference between going quick and rushing it. He rushed it that time.
Left side Akins driving inside. Nearly had a double dribble there. Finds Trey Holloman, the freshman, on the right wing. Holloman had 2 quick fouls in the first half, got subbed out. He's back here just about 4.5 minutes into the second. Pass to Walker, screen by Kohler. Walker isolated against Dickinson, drives inside, scoop layup with the left hand, good! Really nice play by Tyson Walker.
And we've seen Walker have a lot of success so far today against Michigan. He's been excellent at creating space off the dribble.
Dickinson inside on freshman Kohler. And Kohler, really good stand-up defense, gets Dickinson to miss short on the layup attempt. Dickinson comes back for the offensive rebound, and Kohler fouls him there.
Before the shot, Michigan State foul on 0, Jackson Kohler.
It'll be a floor foul.
Second team foul on the Spartans.
So Dickinson will not go to the line for 2, but we get a media timeout. The under 16 media timeout. We'll take a break for a moment here with 15:04 left in the second half. Michigan State up 36-23. And Kellen, Dickinson still is really trying hard to get active in the low post instead of settling for those turn-up jumpers like we said in the high post. Some people have called him a softer big man for that reason, that he likes to settle for those shots. But he's earning his medal today in the second half, trying to go down low and dig out tough shots in the post.
And that's right, William. He at times does settle for those shots, and at times he can make those shots very consistently. But today, those shots have not been falling, and so we've seen clearly in the second half him making a strong effort to battle inside and get position, fight for position inside in the second half. Clearly, Juwan Howard has talked to him about that at the half, and he's done an excellent job so far of getting position inside. Now it's about executing with that position.
And with that being a floor foul, Michigan will not go to the free throw line, as I just said, and that will continue their scoring drought. They have not scored for the last 2 minutes and 10 seconds. That's a really tough thing to have happen for Michigan when you're already down by 13. You're shooting as poorly as you are. And it seems like Michigan State is finally starting to find their groove on offense, whether that be the guard play of A.J. Hogard and Tyson Walker, or finding Joey Hauser outside for a jump shot. Michigan cannot have these guards get active, and they can't especially have Joey Hauser start to hit outside shots. He hit a mid-range shot earlier off a screen.
Yeah, William, Michigan State, we've talked about it, they're led by their 2 guards, Hogard and Walker, and so their team is led by them and kind of go as they go. But what can happen is when they start to get going, that can free up opportunities for Joey Hauser to get some open shots on kickouts. And when Joey Hauser gets going from outside, that's when things really start to turn up offensively for this Michigan State team, because they have their pick and rolls with their guards and Sissoko, and then they have their kickouts to Hauser, which makes it really tough on opposing defenses because they have to play defense at all three levels.
Definitely, and Michigan trying to draw something up here in this timeout. They'll have it side out of bounds once we exit the media timeout. 15:04 left in the second half. Michigan still down by 13. They need an offensive spark here. Haven't scored in 2 minutes. And you wonder who it comes from. If the starters return to the court, Doug McDaniel hasn't hit a shot. And Kobe Buffkin, Terrence Williams, and Jet Howard have only all hit one shot each. They've hit 3 combined shots between the 3 of them. Dickinson leads Michigan in scoring with 8. He's 4 for 10 from the field. All over the lineup for Michigan is poor shooting. So you have to assume this ball is going to go to Dickinson inside. Maybe to Kobe Buffkin. I think that he's looked, outside of Hunter Dickinson, the most active offensively in terms of a wing or a guard. Terrace Reed has looked good in his short minutes that he's played, but they're not going to play him with Dickinson at the same time. Will be that same starting lineup back on the floor. Michigan State stays with Jackson Kohler out there, the freshman, and Trey Holloman. And this is a veteran Michigan State starting lineup, but their bench is filled with younger underclassmen, especially freshmen. And they're electing to give some of their starters a rest here earlier in the second half.
And you see Izzo trusting Tyson Walker to guide this unit.
Kohler isolated with Jet Howard outside. Howard steps back for a 3, and he cans it. Mismatch for Howard, and he exploits it.
That's just straight up great shot making from Jet Howard. One of the best shot creators in the Big Ten, off the dribble, and he shows it right there.
And Trey Holloman brings up the ball, sets up to be the lead guard. Tyson Walker comes back off a screen, swings it around to Joey Hauser, who misses a 3 off the left rim, rebounded by Michigan. Howard comes back up, thinks about pulling another 3, instead passes off to McDaniel. Dickinson inside, doubled. Outside corner shot, Buffkin rims out from the three-pointer.
And those are the shots that Michigan needs to make. Wide open shot from the corner for Kobe Buffkin. They had it set up perfectly and just can't execute.
Hauser outside. Right side now, Holloman. Back out to Tyson Walker. Slowing it down, screen set by Kohler. Gets Kobe Buffkin off his spot. Walker drives inside, passes out Hall. Hall on McDaniel, now on Dickinson. Scoop layup with the right hand, goes down for Malik Hall.
And that's a crafty finish from Malik Hall. A high arcing hook shot over Dickinson. Tough to defend.
And Malik Hall is the most versatile player on this Spartan team this year. He can do everything for Michigan State. Dickinson catches 18 feet away, drives inside on Kohler. Goes out of bounds, but it stays with Michigan. Go ahead, Kellen.
And William, I'm a big fan of what Malik Hall does for your basketball team, because he doesn't necessarily do anything at an elite level, but he does a lot of things at a really high level. Does a lot of things really well for this team. Not necessarily anything that he does on an elite level, but does almost everything better than average to a really good level.
He reminds me a lot of Kenny Goins. Michigan back on offense. Kobe Buffkin, left wing, inside Dickinson now, turning around on Kohler. Kohler, nice defense, and Michigan State comes away with it.
And Dickinson forced to move quickly there with the shot clock running down. Seemed like he rushed another one.
A.J. Hogarth driving inside, reverse layup, no good. Good defense from Terrence Williams. Rebound goes to Dickinson, passes out to McDaniel. McDaniel gets inside to Williams. Williams out to Buffkin, same corner as the last 3 he attempted. Now, Buffkin pump fakes, drives inside, push shot, no good, rebound Spartans.
And Michigan just continuing to miss shots, flat out. They haven't been able to make shots consistently, and that's the reason they're down 12.
Michigan still shooting 28% from the field. Inside of 13 minutes now. Malik Hall in the post on Jet Howard. Fakes a turnaround jumper. Pivot foot staying on the floor for Hall. Finally passes out of it, nothing there. 5 seconds left on the shot clock. Hogarth trying to drive on Buffkin. Stumbles, and Buffkin fighting for the basketball with Hogarth. Ties him up. And it'll be Michigan basketball as the arrow goes to the Wolverines' favor. Madi Sissoko comes in for Kohler, and Pierre Brooks and Jaden Akins come in for A.J. Hogarth and Tyson Walker. So Michigan State staggering a lot of their bench players here tonight. this afternoon. Hogard is still out there, excuse me.
Michigan's got to get one here. Got to get a good shot, a good look. Find some offense.
Terrace Reed now in for Hunter Dickinson is checked by Maddie Sissoko. Finds Jet Howard. Pump fake at the top of the key. Left wing to Terrence Williams. Now Terrace Reed working on Sissoko in the post. Foul on the floor, whistle blows. That calls on Sissoko.
And I'd love to see Terrace Reed get some more touches inside. He's been successful the first 2 times. Puts on a good move there, draws a foul. I'd like to see him get more touches on that low block.
He's been very confident in this game. Inbound to Williams is received. Back out to the right wing for Jet Howard. Trapped on the screen, gets out of it. Howard driving towards the top of the three-point line. Finds Buffkin on the right wing. His three-pointer short. Rebound, fought for, gathered by Madi Sissoko. Akins brings it up on the left side for the Spartans. Up top, Hogard. Hogard gets a screen from Sissoko. Switched on by Terrace Reed. Finds Malik Hall in the left corner. Hall going to work on Terrence Williams. Turnaround jumper. Short. Rebound, though, by Jaden Akins. Akins all the way out to the three-point line. No good on that jumper. And rebounded by Jet Howard.
Akins' second rebound, offensive rebound of the second half.
Really nice move by Howard to dive inside. Gets a layup to go, and Michigan finally gets another layup on the board.
They finally cut it down to 10. Got to keep working, though. Not going to get it all in one piece.
And you mentioned that offensive rebound by Jaden Akins. It's another hallmark of the Tom Izzo coach team. Their guards love to rebound well. Pierre Brooks. Left side, Hogard. Hogard, nice screen by Sissoko. Gets Hogard wide open at the free throw line, and he knocks down a jumper.
And that's too easy. Wide open shot at the top of the key. Hogard's going to make that 10 out of 10 times.
And that's why Michigan State head coach Tom Izzo is okay with Madi Sissoko making some mistakes on offense. He's an excellent screen setter, an excellent defender. Terrace Reed hesitates, now drives on Sissoko. Another foul for Madi Sissoko on defense. That'll be his second foul. Picked his one up, his first one up a few minutes ago.
We have a timeout on the floor.
And that's now 2 on Sissoko. And he did a good job of staying out of foul trouble in that first half. And I'm sure that was something that the coaching staff talked to him about, is playing without fouling, especially early on. So they have him available in the second half, but Michigan's going to continue to go after him.
And Michigan had a ton of early fouls in the first half. They've also done a good job at limiting their illegal defense late in the first half as well, but also now in the second half. They had a few players early gather 2 fouls, an early first foul, but they played effective defense in the second half. The offense just hasn't come. Michigan State is still shooting 37% from the field, but Michigan's offense has been so bad that the Wolverines are down by 12. And we talked about Malik Hall being a great overall player for Michigan State. Tom Izzo calls him an OKG, an R kind of guy, and it seems like every 4-year cycle at Michigan State, there's always an OKG, whether that be Kenny Goins, Matt McQuaid, a guy like Gavin Schilling. You can go down the list. Derek Nix, Adrian Payne. Just guys that do everything well that Tom Izzo wants you to do. Step out, hit threes, defend, sometimes be able to put the ball on the floor. And Tom Izzo does a really good job getting those guys in the program and developing them. And who I will predict could be a possible next guy is sophomore Pierre Brooks. He's a really stocky guard. He's 6'6". He could be a 3. He could be a 2. He could even be a 1. He's a great ball handler. And he can step out, shoot threes. He's trained well to be a better defender. He can drive inside. He's got the strength to do that. I think he's one of those players for Michigan State over the next few years to watch.
Yeah, and following that trend of the Mr. Basketball players, award winners in the state of Michigan going to Michigan State. You saw that with Cassius Winston, Keith Appling.
Derek Nix as well.
Staying in state and going to Michigan State. Michigan hasn't had a Michigan Mr. Basketball winner since, I'm trying to think of the last one.
A lot of them end up going out of state if they're not going to Michigan State. And it's the fourth straight Detroit-born Mr. Basketball to go to Michigan State. Those three players all from Detroit as well. Pierre Brooks went to Frederick Douglass Academy. Cassius Winston went to UAD. And so it's been a pipeline for Michigan State. And we've mentioned it early in the year, but Michigan's only contributor really in the rotation that is from the state of Michigan is Kobe Buffkin. He's from Grand Rapids, but it seems like every year that Michigan State's key contributors are from the state of Michigan, and maybe that's something that Juwan Howard will look to utilize more in his recruiting to find those pipeline guys, because if you can establish a relationship with the state of Michigan like Tom Izzo has, it becomes easier to get the four-year guys. I know Juwan Howard has spent a lot of time recruiting the big-name players that have NBA potential, but the four-year players are what separate the good college teams from the great college teams.
And you see that every year really show in the national tournament, the NCAA tournament. I mean, you look at that Kansas team that won it. They had a number of multi-year starters on that team that had been there for a while, and you might think of Kansas as a program that gets a lot of high-end recruits, and they do, but they don't necessarily have a lot of one-and-dones, it feels like.
And that was a critique of schools like North Carolina and Duke for a long time, and those schools also had players like that would stay 4 years that were key contributors. Yeah, Duke had Paolo Banchero, Julia Okafor, but they also had guys like Grayson Allen and Joey Baker, players that stayed for a long time. 40-28, Michigan down by 12. 10:39 remaining in the second half. We'll have a side out. Terrace Reed is going to take some free throws. It was called a shooting foul. Looked like an on-the-floor call at first. No, it will be a baseline out-of-bounds play here. Doug McDaniel will start with the basketball. McDaniel finding Jet Howard. Fronting Tyson Walker, now in the post against Walker. Outside, Joey Baker thinks about the three, now drives inside. Good defense from Pierre Brooks. And the ball looked to go off Baker, but it'll stay Michigan basketball.
Michigan will get another chance on the baseline out of bounds here.
And on the replay, Spartan fans aren't happy about that no call from the referee. Stay Wolverine possession. And Jet Howard off the inbound says it poked away by Tyson Walker. It'll still stay with Michigan. Another quick out of bounds play here.
8 seconds on the shot clock. Michigan gonna have to get a shot up quick. Don't have a lot of time to run a long play here.
And Joey Baker comes away with it off a Doug McDaniel pass. Shoots a mid-range shot, no good. Terrace Reed trying to dig out the rebound before it goes out of bounds, but it will go to the Spartans. Up 12. Michigan State, with about 10 minutes left, has a real chance to end this game before it has even really started. I mean, Michigan hasn't shot well the whole contest. Pierre Brooks up top to the left, Walker. Guarded closely by McDaniel. Screen set by Sissoko. Terrace Reed fronts Walker. Goes away to the left wing to Hauser. Walker finds it back. Hogard working against Howard. Swing pass outside. Finds Hauser in the corner. His three-pointer long. Rebound spiked to the hardwood by Terrace Reed. Picked up by Terrence Williams.
And Hauser has not shot it well today. That's been very fortunate for Michigan.
Terrace Reed driving inside, and a blocking foul is called on Mady Sissoko. That's his third foul.
And Sissoko now with 3 quick fouls here in this second half. Something to keep an eye on as we see Tom Izzo looking to his bench, likely going to have Sissoko sit down here for a few minutes. Don't want to get him that 4th foul.
And Will Cheddar is going to come in. Carson Cooper, also a freshman, rarely gets playing time. He's played in a lot of games, but he doesn't get a lot of minutes. He comes in for Mady Sissoko instead of Jackson Kohler. Michigan retains possession. Cheddar sets a screen. 2 big men out there for the Wolverines. Jet Howard has it, guarded by Tyson Walker. Gets a screen from Baker, isn't very effective. Pierre Brooks switched onto Howard now. Howard still in isolation above the 3-point line. Attempts a wild 3-point shot, nearly goes in. Rebound goes to Terrace Reed. Reed fighting inside and is fouled.
And Michigan drawing a lot of fouls here in this second half. Michigan State with 6 fouls in the second half to Michigan's 1.
And Reed was fighting inside against Howard and Hauser and Hogard. Hogard is charged with the foul. That'll be his first. Michigan not yet in the bonus with 9:22 left in the second half. Doug McDaniel will inbound. Received by Will Cheddar. Doug gets it back. Isolated against Joey Hauser. The quick Doug McDaniel gets inside but leaves his layup short. Rebound goes to the Spartans. Hogard's got it up the right side. Crosses the logo. Left wing now Hauser. Drives inside on Reed. Dump off pass to Cooper. Hauser probably should have shot that. Delegates to Cooper, who sends it back out to Hogard. Hogard, pull-up jumper at the free throw line. He hits another one. And Hogard has been the main driver of offense for the Spartans in the second half. He's had a great showing here in these last 20 minutes. Jet Howard on the left wing. Finds Reed inside. Guarded closely by Cooper. Reed going to work on Cooper. Banging inside. Layup, no good. Rebound, Cooper, and a foul will go on the Wolverines.
And that'll go on Terrace Reed. His first foul of the game. Michigan's going to check in Dickinson. Keep an eye on Will Cheddar here. Will Cheddar is quietly, has played very well in the minutes he's seen from Michigan. Not necessarily as talented as some of the other players on this Michigan team, but he's a very smart defender and is very, very active. He is, you don't want to just call him a hustle guy, but he leaves it all out on the floor and definitely will have an impact on this game for Michigan.
Hauser pull up, very long two, no good, goes long. Isaiah Barnes has also come in for Jet Howard. Fired to Baker in the corner. Baker drives in. Flips up a layup, no good. Rebound fought for, and goes off Carson Cooper. And a possession ago when Cooper received the rebound and got fouled. It's not often that you see a crowd get that involved after a loose ball foul on a defensive rebound, but that really got the zone going. Michigan still has the basketball. Off the inbound, it goes to Will Cheddar inside. Working against Joey Hauser. A great move by Will Cheddar to score it.
Just a simple up and under for Cheddar.
Another pull-up jumper for Hogard. That was a bit of a heat check from the mid-range. It's long, rebounded to Michigan.
And under 8 minutes to go. Michigan's got to go now. Got to start to make your run.
Down by 12. Bufkin driving inside. Layup's good. And it's possible they start this little flow of offense now. Now only down by 10.
No Sissoko in the game. This is the time as we see him head to the scores table to check in Izzo. Doesn't want to risk having his underclassmen bigs in on Dickinson.
And he's only got 3 fouls, so he's still got a bit of burn left in this game. Walker driving inside. Wild layup, good. Flips it high. Doesn't even hit the glass. The arcing shot goes in for Tyson Walker.
And Dickinson acting as a coach on the floor, directing traffic for Michigan.
Bufkin, right side Dickinson, driving in. A falling Cooper goes to the ground. No call, and Dickinson gets inside, puts a shot in. And they'll call a foul on Joey Hauser. Reached immediate timeout, but it looks like Hunter Dickinson will come back out on the back end and shoot an and-one free throw.
And that's just poor defense from Carson Cooper. He just totally hit the deck. Trying to draw an offensive foul there on Dickinson, but Dickinson barely bumped into him, and an easy no call for the official.
That was a really good play by Dickinson. He didn't even extend his arm an inch to give the referee.
He even slowed up a little bit, it felt like, to limit the contact.
And he's been expecting contact today. Michigan has played really physical defense inside on Dickinson, not allowing a lot of low post entry passes. But Carson Cooper is not Mady Sissoko. He's really not even Joey Hauser. He's a wiry freshman. He is 6'10", so he's a bigger guy, but not really filled out too much.
And he has talent. He's a talented player, but just likely going to take some time to develop in the program before he's as more of a consistent contributor for this Michigan team.
Your winning number is G1115664. If you have that winning ticket, please report to guest services located
still in this media timeout with 6:53 left in the second half. Michigan down by 10. And Hunter Dickinson, 11-and-1 attempt to get Michigan to a single-digit deficit for the first time in a while. The Wolverines are 3 of their last 3 from the field. And they've shot better in the last few minutes to get their field goal percentage back up from around 25% to now 30%. Still only shooting a laughable 2 of 15 from 3, good for 13.3%. And the Spartans only shooting 37%, but that's good enough to give them a 10-point lead. Still waiting to get out of the media timeout. Kellen touched on it before, but there's a lot of freshmen and sophomores on the back end of Michigan State's rotation. Many of their starters are fifth-year seniors, fourth-year seniors, or juniors, but they've got 2 sophomores in Akins and Brooks, along with freshmen Kohler, Holloman, and Carson Cooper, who have been able to give them valuable minutes as young players on the back end. We'll see who these teams send back out at the back end of this timeout. The last lineup on the floor for Michigan State was Tyson Walker, Jaden Akins, Joey Hauser, A.J. Hogard, and Carson Cooper. But it's safe to assume that Mady Sissoko will come back in along with Malik Hall to give the Spartans more of an offensive edge. Malik Hall, the second leading scorer for the Spartans tonight, he's got 11 points. A.J. Hogard has caught a little bit of fire on the jump shots here in the second half. He's one of the few players in this game shooting over 50% from the field, 5 for 9, 101 from three-point land. And for Michigan, Dickinson will attempt this free throw. On the floor with him is still Isaiah Barnes, Joey Baker, Will Cheddar, and Kobe Buffkin, the same lineup we saw before the timeout.
Michigan's cut it to 10. They got to keep it going here, though. Opportunity to get it to single digits with this Dickinson free throw.
And interestingly enough, I said in that timeout that Malik Hall might come in to give the Spartans more of an offensive edge, but Trey Holloman is in, the freshman.
And you've got to wonder if Hall was banged up during that collision at the end of the first half. We haven't seen a ton of him in the second half.
And a technical foul was issued during the timeout to Carson Cooper, ostensibly for flopping on that last play. Kobe Buffkin goes to the line for the technical free throw attempt, and he knocks it down, and it won't be an and one for Hunter Dickinson. He made the shot, a foul got called, but Buffkin hits the technical free throw anyway, so it's a single-digit game no matter how you score it up. Michigan State's got the ball. Akins has it, guarded by Joey Baker, outside to Walker on the right wing, and an off-ball foul is called on Mady Sissoko, who's picked up 4 fouls in about 4 minutes.
And just like that, Jackson Kohler checks back in. And that's about the worst case scenario for Tom Izzo. You check Sissoko in less than 10 seconds, he picks up his 4th foul off the ball, not doing anything.
Kind of a low IQ play from Sissoko there to pick up a foul that close to his last one. Michigan's got the ball regardless, though. Buffkin up top, working against Akins, finds Dickinson about 18 feet away. He'll attempt a jump shot, and it's good.
And this zone has gotten a lot quieter as Michigan's gone on their run here.
It's been a fairly uneventful game in terms of offensive firepower, so it's no surprise why people are a little bit sleepy compared to what it was like in the first half. Holloman fires outside Walker on the left corner. His three-pointer bounces up and in. Looked short on the initial viewing, but it spun up all the way up to the shot clock and found its way to the bottom of the net. State hits a 3 to get back to a double-digit lead. Buffkin for 3 now. Rims out. The rebound is fought for, and over the back foul is called on Michigan State. It'll be on Joey Hauser, his first foul. And fortunately for the Spartans, Hauser not the front court man who's in foul trouble tonight. Malik Hall comes back in.
And so now when you look at defensively for Michigan State, you're expecting a hard double on the entry pass with Hauser defending Dickinson. Hauser a bit undersized to be defending the 7-1 Dickinson.
Will Cheddar, who was fouled, attempts the 1-and-1. Not a great free throw shooter in some limited attempts this season. Misses it. Battle for the rebound, goes out of bounds. Called on Michigan State, so it'll stay with Michigan. We'll see if they go to review this. And it doesn't look like they're going to, and it's Michigan basketball. The Izzone is incensed. Outside 3-ball from Cheddar. No good. And the Michigan State crowd is thinking the ball doesn't lie on that play. Ball ends up with the Spartans. No harm, no foul.
Still
another off-ball foul called, but this time it'll be on the Wolverines.
Still a 10-point game. I mean, Michigan, as we approach 5 minutes here, really needs to get on a run.
Still shooting 31% for the game. And this lineup for Michigan State is fairly small. Joey Hauser and Malik Hall are the big men guarding Will Cheddar and Hunter Dickinson, two of Michigan's taller players. Hauser steps back for the three-pointer. It's no good. Rebound goes to Doug McDaniel. Howard dumps it inside to Dickinson. Dickinson, flip shot, good.
And that's just so easy for Hunter Dickinson with an undersized defender on him, essentially a no contest.
Freshman Holloman, top of the three-point line. Right side, Hauser, hands off to Walker. Now Hall, back to Holloman. Holloman drives off the left corner. His layup is too strong, doesn't even hit the rim. Ends up with the Wolverines. Bufkin thinks about it on the right corner for three. Drives inside, pushes a layup in.
And that's too hard of a closeout from Trey Holloman. Got to know your personnel there. Bufkin's somebody that maybe you want a softer closeout on. He's not looking to shoot that contested shot. He's looking to pump fake and go by you. He does just that, gets to the cup, and just like that, it's a 6-point game.
And with Michigan 6 of their last 8 from the field, closing the deficit to 6, the smallest it's been in quite a while, Tom Izzo calls a timeout once his point guard Tyson Walker reaches the other side of half court. And we'll see if it's immediate timeout. It is, which means that as soon as we get to the under 4, it'll also be another immediate timeout. So these last 4 minutes might take a little bit longer than 4 minutes here from the Breslin Center in East Lansing. But Michigan finally making a game of it late in the second half, only down by 6 points.
And we see Terrace Reed check in, likely for Will Cheddar. So it'll be an interesting lineup for Michigan with two bigs in Dickinson and Terrace Reed.
And they've done well with the bigger lineups tonight. As Dickinson now is heated up, he went from 4 of 10. He's made 3 of his last 4. He's 7 for 14 from the field for 14 points, the Wolverines' leading scorer. But it seems that the Wolverine guards and Jet Howard, if you consider to be a guard forward, have been locked up very effectively by the Spartan guards defensively. And Juwan Howard might see it more prescient to put a bigger lineup on the court, especially with the foul trouble we've seen from Sissoko, and being that the other big men that Michigan State have behind him are weaker defenders when it comes to defending in the post. You talk about Jackson Kohler, who's a freshman, recruited really for his offense. He hopes to develop more of a defensive game, but he's almost exclusively an offensive player. That's why he was a 4-star recruit. We've seen Carson Cooper. He got shredded like Swiss cheese by Terrace Reed. And Joey Hauser, as good as he is on the offensive end, he's not a particularly strong defender. So it's a tactical advantage that the Wolverines have in this game to be able to deploy 2 solid big men on the floor.
And Michigan State on the other side has to take advantage of that and consistently be putting them in pick and rolls, trying to make it difficult for Michigan. But with Terrace Reed in the game, he's able to switch a little bit better defensively and kind of act like a 4 would, like Terrence Williams can. He's very switchable defensively. Reed, maybe not quite as versatile, but similar, able to show some versatility.
Almost out of this media timeout. They've been pretty long here in East Lansing. No blame to be put on Michigan State, as that's kind of the nature of national television broadcasting these days, to extend the commercials for as long as you can. But 4:23 remaining in the second half, 47-41. Michigan State with some balanced scoring in this game. They've got 12 points from Tyson Walker, 11 points from Malik Hall, 13 points from A.J. Hogard. Hunter Dickinson, the Wolverines' leading scorer and the leading rebounder. Doug McDaniel has 3 assists, has yet to hit a field goal in this game. He's got 0 points. For Michigan State, their leading rebounder, Joey Hauser. Their leading assist man, A.J. Hogard, who is 3rd in the Big Ten in assists coming into this game. He was sitting at just above 6 assists, 6.4 per game coming in. He hasn't been a great shooter this season, shooting under 40% from the field, about 26% from 3. But tonight he's been on fire, shooting over 50% from the field and making his sole 3-point attempt. We're ready to get back going. Joey Hauser, Malik Hall, Hogard comes back in, Jaden Akins, and Matty Sissoko standing up on the Michigan State bench. It looks like he might come back in with 4 fouls. No, he won't. It'll be Tyson Walker.
What makes it tough with Sissoko with 4 fouls is now he has to play softer even when he comes in because he has to worry about that 5th foul. For Michigan, I think on the defensive side of the ball, it's going to come down to can Kobe Buffkin and these guards play straight up one-on-one defense against the guards of Michigan State.
Inbound by State. Finds Malik Hall. Hall working towards the baseline underneath the basket, and he's fouled on the floor by Terrace Reed.
Michigan foul on 32.
And Michigan has a couple of fouls to give still.
That's the 4th.
And that's only Terrace Reed's 2nd foul, so nobody really in danger for the Wolverines of fouling out in this game. It's only really been Matty Sissoko for Michigan State. Off the inbound. Ball finds its way to Tyson Walker. He attempts a long mid-range shot. It's no good. Rebounded by the Wolverines. McDaniel's got it. Gets it to Buffkin on the left wing. Fakes a screen. Does Terrace Reed. Pass out to Jet Howard, who's harassed by Tyson Walker and A.J. Hogard, and a foul is called on the Spartans.
And that's big because Michigan's in the bonus. So that's a free trip to the free throw line for Michigan. And Michigan inconsistent, to say the least, at the free throw line this season. These are the kind of moments where you got to make your free throws. Late in the game, hostile environment, 6-point game, under 4 minutes to go. Need both of these here.
Jet Howard, a 74% free throw shooter coming into this game, knocks in the front end. Michigan gets it to a 5-point deficit. Second attempt to get it to 4 is good from Howard. 47-43, 3:55 left. Crunch time here in East Lansing.
And we've got a ball game now, William.
A.J. Hogard, top of the 3-point line, settling into this Spartan offense. Left side, Akins. Drives inside, pulls back out. Jet Howard staying close with him on defense. Slithers inside, does Akins. His layup's long. Rebound batted back out to A.J. Howard on the right corner. Left wing now Hall. Pump fake 3-pointer, steps up, mid-range shot, good. Great move from Malik Hall to get inside and open up the space for a jumper.
And that's great ball movement from Michigan State, making the extra pass, not settling, and they get a wide open shot at the elbow.
Matty Sissoko on the scorer's table, ready to check back in as Hunter Dickinson comes back in for Michigan. Terrence Williams, guarded by Joey Hauser, finds Jet Howard. Howard isolating. Back out Williams. Williams inside. Dickinson on Malik Hall, and Hall fouls him.
And now Dickinson gets to go to the free throw line. And Michigan's going to get to the double bonus pretty soon.
And Michigan State, after doing a good job in the first half of limiting their fouls, has not done a good job in the second half. Matty Sissoko has got 4 team fouls of his own, checks back in for Jaden Akins, and it'll be the regular starting lineup for the Spartans on the floor. Hunter Dickinson, free throw percentage has gone down a bit, now sitting at 72.6%. Misses the first free throw, does Dickinson.
And Michigan, now they're in the double bonus. They get a little bit of wiggle room on their makes and misses, but you still need the points.
Second free throw goes down for Hunter. 3:01 left. Michigan down 44-49. Hogard on the right side, hands off Walker. Malik Hall off a screen. Not open, finds A.J. Hogard on the left wing. Screen set by Sissoko. Hogard working from left to right. Now at the top of the 3-point line, hands back to Walker. Hauser screaming off on the left wing, gets the ball, back to Walker now. Screen by Sissoko, And Sissoko trying to work inside is fouled by Terrence Williams.
Not a good foul by Terrence Williams.
They've done a really good job in this soft zone defense to limit Michigan State's opportunities in the paint, especially to Sissoko. They had that one alley-oop dunk earlier, but other than that, it's been really hard for Sissoko to get going as a rolling big man. Costly foul there by Williams, though. Resets the shot clock to 20 and gets Michigan State back in a comfortable flow. Hogard under the basket, finds Joey Hauser on the left wing, and Hauser still ice cold from the field, misses another three.
Not the shot you want there if you're Michigan State. That was not a great look.
Seems like Hauser just trying to get himself going, but he can't. Michigan now on offense. Dickinson guarded well by Sissoko in the post. Finds its way back out to Williams, who misses badly on a three-pointer of his own. And it's been the story of this game. These two teams can't shoot today.
And it's just going to come down to, down the stretch, who can make shots. And for Michigan, that's when you really wish you could have there. Open look, just can't finish.
Left side Hall. Inside to Joey Hauser. Mismatch in the post on Doug McDaniel, and McDaniel reaches in. Nothing else you can really do when the player you're guarding is about a foot taller than you. So the foul goes to McDaniel, and the Wolverines still have one more foul to give, so the Spartans will not be in the single bonus yet. Inside at 2 minutes. State's got it, baseline out of bounds. Hogard, guarded closely by Buffkin, finds Hauser inside. Hauser, first shot, no good. Offensive rebound, taps it up and in.
Great second effort from Hauser, as Michigan will call a timeout here. But Joey Hauser can't get the layup to go initially, but fights through for the offensive board and tips it back up and in. That's a big play in a tight game down the stretch.
And Michigan, we've seen a lot of these close games before where they haven't really pulled it out. They lost at home to Central Michigan. Before that, they were close within 2 points. It was 73-71 with a few minutes left against North Carolina and Charlotte. They blew that game, couldn't come back. And we all know about the game against Virginia at home that Michigan couldn't finish, only losing by a few points. They stayed close that whole game. And this has been another instance where Michigan has just kind of stayed at an arm's length, and they haven't been able to really put together a big momentum swing or a string of few possessions together that give them a tie game or the lead. They just have stayed just behind the Spartans.
And that's been kind of the story of the season. They just haven't been able to completely finish games. They've gotten so close with so many teams, but execution down the stretch has been poor. It's been too little, too late.
The zone is getting into it now. The PA announcer getting them all to wave their towels. And there's a section of former players on the opposite side of us that are really the only section that's not as involved in this game as the rest of the arena. Immediate timeout's almost over, 1:42 left. Michigan down by 7, 44-51. Hall, Sissoko, Hauser, Walker, and Hogard for Michigan State. Howard, Williams, Dickinson, Buffkin, and McDaniel for Michigan. Doug's going to inbound it. Buffkin at the logo. Dribbling against Hall. Tried to get it to Dickinson, but couldn't find him. McDaniel open for three, nods it off. Finds its way back to Buffkin, who drives inside and is fouled.
And that one will go on Malik Hall, I believe. And that's his fourth foul now, which he's make that his third.
So, and Michigan State's been comfortable to let it ride with Sissoko. I assume they'll keep Malik Hall out there, even though he has missed 8 games this year. He just came back in the game against Buffalo for the Spartans. But Hall is one of the most talented players on Michigan State's team, so it's crucial he stays out there for the Spartans. First free throw goes in for Buffkin. 91 seconds left in this game. Michigan gets it to a 2-possession ball game. Down 6. Chance to get to only being down 5.
And Jet Howard and Hunter Dickinson having a conversation with Jawan Howard on the sideline.
Buffkin is Michigan's best free throw shooter. knocks in that second free throw to get it to 51-46. Spartans lead. They have the basketball. Clock running inside of 90 seconds. Hogard's got it. Now Hauser at the top of the three-point line. Back to Hogard. Screen by Sissoko. The ball's batted loose by Kobe Buffkin. And since he last touched it, it goes into the backcourt, but Hogard's free to recover it. 10 seconds, though, on the shot clock. Another screen by Sissoko. Hogard snatches back, now spins inside. A spinning layup goes down for A.J. Hogard, and he has been clutch in this second half for the Spartans.
1 minute remaining.
7-point game now. Michigan's got to go, I don't want to say fast, but you can't take the whole shot clock here.
And Jet Howard has been largely neutralized by the Spartans tonight. He's trying to get something going. Buffkin has it on the right wing now. Screen by Dickinson, fronted by Sissoko. Buffkin pulls back for three, and he's fouled.
And that's a bad foul by A.J. Hogard. He clearly made contact. You just have to close out cleaner than that. And he's looking up in surprise, but he clearly made contact with Buffkin. Buffkin definitely sold it, but you can't give the officials any reason to call that foul, and he made clear contact.
And Buffkin with 3 chances at the line now. The 3 ball was airballed, which, I mean, it was clearly impacted by the contact from Hogard. So Buffkin's going to have 3 free throws. He's around an 82% free throw shooter this season, the Wolverines' best. And he gives them the best chance at the line to get the deficit to 4 with 40.6 seconds left. And he misses the first one. And Kellen, we've called, I mean, close to half Michigan basketball games this season. They've been a terrible free throw shooting team. It's been really one of their Achilles heel, if not the biggest one. They leave a lot of points out there on the floor. Second free throw for Buffkin is good.
And at this point in the game, you need every point you can get. I mean, it's a 2-possession game, and you get an opportunity for or it's a 3-possession game. You get an opportunity for a 3-pointer like that to cut the lead to 4. You got to capitalize. You took a lot of time off the game clock there. You need all 3 of these points, and you saw Tom Izzo talking to A.J. Hogard, telling him, "Why are you doing that, man? Just don't make contact."
Second free throw's good from Buffkin.
Can't make him fully pay, though.
On the foul, on the 3-point shot, Buffkin makes 2 of 3. Michigan in a 3-quarter court press.
And you need a turnover here, and they're going to foul.
They don't even trap Hall on the right side, who was by the coach's box. Dickinson was left alone on him, and he just fouls him with 29.8 seconds left.
And in a game that might come down to free throw shooting, you have to imagine that favors the Spartans in a big way.
They're 5 of 6 tonight. Haven't had a lot of volume, but that's a good clip. 83%. The Wolverines, on the other hand, 75%, which is better than their season average. 12 of 16. Everything else is awful, though. 2 of 18 from 3, 17 of 52 from the field. That's been the difference. But like you said, Kellen, these free throws are likely to favor Michigan State now. And
Hall, nearly an 85% free throw shooter. Not the guy you want at the line either.
Hall's got 13 points.
A senior that shoots 85% from the line is not the ideal guy.
Makes that first one, and he gets the bonus free throw after making it. Has a chance to make this a 3-possession game and really put the nail in the coffin here in East Lansing.
And again, if you're Michigan now, that means you've got to come down and hit a 3 on the other side.
Second free throw is pure 55-48, 29 seconds left. Michigan needs a miracle. Screen by Dickinson. Buffkin knifing inside, slam dunk, 23.6 seconds left. And Tom Izzo was really upset that that bucket came that easy for Buffkin.
And it's a quick basket for Michigan. That's a big one. It took about 6 seconds.
Michigan State.
So it's back to a 5-point game now, Michigan State basketball.
23.6 seconds left, 55-50. Timeout called by Michigan State. Izzo sure to chew the ear off of his defenders that were just in the ball game. And Michigan now has an opportunity to possibly draw something up unique on defense to guard this inbounds play. They had it defended well, and that's why Michigan State had to call a timeout initially. If they could keep that level of intensity up, maybe draw a turnover, they could get something. But they still got to play the free throw game down the stretch of this game, being down 5.
And both teams with only 1 timeout remaining, so that's another thing to look at down the stretch of this contest, something that could have an impact on the game. I'd
like to thank you all for joining us on YouTube. the WCBN Sports page has really appreciated all the support of our listeners following our coverage of the Fiesta Bowl and the few basketball games that followed that. It's been a pleasure to bring you this game tonight from East Lansing. It's a lot of fun. We're looking forward to our continued coverage of Michigan basketball, as well as the spring sports that will soon start up in the next month or two.
I know I'm really excited to get the the softball season up and running again. Such a fun time covering the Michigan softball team. But right now we're in the heart of the basketball season, and what's better than Michigan State 5-point game down the stretch.
We'll see if Michigan can get a much-needed steal on this inbounds pass. Malik Hall will have it, guarded by Hunter Dickinson closely. Dickinson stretches both of his very long arms to try and influence a bad decision on Hall's part here. Everybody's matched up closely. Walker works free against Kobe Buffkin. He's almost trapped by Buffkin and Dickinson, but he's forced to be fouled.
And you foul Walker, and I just talked about how Hall's not the guy you want to be fouling.
He's a 78% free throw shooter. He's another good one. I mean, almost everybody in this Michigan State starting lineup, save Sissoko, is around an 80 to 85% free throw shooter. They're a great free throw shooting team from the guys that get good volume.
Yeah, Hauser shoots it at 86%. Hogard and Hall both shoot it at 85%. Walker, 78%. I mean, Sissoko's the one glaring weakness, but you know they're not going to put the ball in his hands. He's not even on the floor. It's Akins, who's a 75% free throw shooter, so no glaring weaknesses to go after.
And Walker makes the first free throw. If he makes this second one, it kind of deems that quick Kobe Buffkin dunk obsolete, as it'll get the game back out to a 3-possession lead for the Spartans. Walker. Another calm free throw goes down for Michigan State, and they've been clutch down the stretch.
Baker in the game for Michigan. Look for them to go to him or Jet Howard.
McDaniel taking a bit too long to do anything. They need a shot quick. McDaniel holds up. Dickinson for 3. It's good.
3-point basket, Hunter Dickinson.
Michigan down by 4. 12 seconds left. 57-53. Timeout by Michigan.
And so Michigan uses their last time out there. That's a big make from Hunter Dickinson. Still a long way to go. 4 points, and Michigan State has the basketball. Only 12 seconds. You're against the clock. So a major uphill battle still for Michigan, but not out of it yet.
And shortly, if not right after this game is over, we're going to have coverage of the Michigan women's basketball team taking on Iowa at home at the Chrysler Center. It's a big matchup, a top 20 ranked matchup in the Big Ten. Very exciting. We of course, are very happy to be able to bring that game to you after this game concludes. Please stay tuned on our YouTube page to be able to listen to that one in its entirety. But still got business to do here in East Lansing. Michigan State up by 4. They'll inbound the basketball after the made 3 from Hunter Dickinson. And Michigan still needs that miracle in order to win their first game in East Lansing since 2018.
And you talk about that, William, the women's game coming up.
And it is already underway. Michigan's up 8-5 with 7:14 left in the first quarter.
Top 20 matchup between two great Big Ten teams. You got the star power and Caitlin Clark and Leah Brown. Really excited to tune into that myself after this one comes to a conclusion.
All to inbound once again. Hogard and Walker trying to work free. Walker gets there and is fouled by Buffkin. Walker will go back to the free throw line for another pair. 11.2 seconds left.
And Kobe Buffkin right on his hip, just so close to getting that steal, knocking that ball away. Instead, Tyson Walker secures it cleanly, and he'll head back to the free throw line. And once you get into a rhythm at the free throw line, it's hard to see a guy like Tyson Walker dropping either of these.
He misses the front end, and Michigan State still in the single bonus. The rebound goes to Michigan. Buffkin working quickly. Dickinson pulls up on Walker. Airballs the three-pointer. Howard fighting for it inside. State comes away with it, and that'll do it. Michigan State wins this game after a last-second heave from Hunter Dickinson is no good. We'll see if there's a little bit of time left on the clock, but with Michigan down by 4, and it's a foul called on Joey Baker, but this game is over for all intents and purposes. Not sure why they're even really doing this, but there's no shot for Michigan to be able to win this game. Michigan State's going to shoot free throws with only a few seconds left, and Michigan's down by more than one possession.
And this game is all but over. For all intents and purposes, this is a done deal. And it'll come down to Michigan too little too late down the stretch.
They improved their shooting. They're up to 34.5% from the field now. They were sitting at 28% for the longest time. Still 3 of 20 from 3. That made three-pointer from Hunter Dickinson was the first one in quite a while. Michigan State didn't really do much on offense either, but they played really effective defense, which, as I mentioned before, has been the strength of their 5-game winning streak, 4-game winning streak at home. They've limited teams to around 56 points per game, and that's almost exactly where Michigan is settled tonight.
And Michigan outscoring Michigan State in the second half, but just too little too late.
And the referees just really allowing the Izzone to have a party in the student section as they continue this game, but the referee's still checking. I mean, when the whistle first blew, the cheerleaders were ready to come out of the court. Sparty was, everyone was going nuts. They called everyone back, and the officials are still at the scorer's table. But Dickinson stepped up his play in the second half. We'll give you a bit of a breakdown at the end of the game as we wait for this. Dickinson, 18 points, 7 rebounds. Kobe Buffkin, 15 points, 4 of 11 from the field, though. Jet Howard really did not play well in this game. A testament to the strong Michigan State defense. Only 10 points, 3 of 8 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3. And he couldn't get anything going. He would try to isolate on the three-point line. He couldn't drive in much at all. And Michigan State really clutch shots from A.J. Hogarth down the stretch. Malik Hall played a very complete game on both sides. Tyson Walker knocking down some clutch free throws late. Finishes with 14 points. Hogarth 15, Hall 15 as well.
And you look at the environment at a place like the Breslin Center where it's, as the officials announced, there's 0.1 seconds remaining, so Michigan State will shoot free throws all as a formality.
I don't think I've ever seen this happen before, but
the student section wraps around the entire lower bowl, and it just creates such an awesome environment, a tough environment for opposing teams, something at the big house, or excuse me, at the Chrysler Center that you just don't see. The student section limited to really less than half of the lower bowl, close to really a third of it.
Steven Izzo's standing up on the sideline. I don't think that he'll check in for the final 0.1 seconds, but we'll see after if Jaden Akins makes his second free throw.
And Akins drops them both.
And Izzo won't check in. And with 0.1 seconds left, Doug McDaniel touches it, and it's over. And Michigan State finally wins after a few minutes of delay. Michigan State wins 59-53 over the Michigan Wolverines. Michigan drops to 9-6 on the season, loses their first game in conference play. Only their second away game of the year. They drop to 1-1 in true away games. Michigan State improves to 11-4, 3-1 in the Big Ten as well. And they cover. And they were projected to win by 3 points. They win by 6. And Kellen, we talked about it. Michigan couldn't make shots. Michigan State couldn't make shots either, but they made just a bit more to eke ahead in this one, scoring under 60 points in a win.
Go green!
And that's really it, William. Michigan State made shots. Michigan didn't play a bad game on the defensive side of the ball. They played really a great game defensively, holding Michigan State to under 60 points, but just couldn't make shots. And to win basketball games, you've got to put the ball in the hoop.
And the cheerleaders lining up to sing the Michigan State alma mater as the fans leave the Breslin Center. The Izzone sticking around for that alma mater, but that does us here from the Breslin Center in East Lansing. For Alex Miller, who was with us in the first half, for Kellen Flynn, I've been William Gregory. Thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to stay connected on YouTube right now, where we're going to switch over to the women's basketball coverage. Michigan at home against Iowa at Chrysler Center. Thank you all for joining us. Good night and go blue.